great quality products we can today at CustomInk.com.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
We're not showing up. That's what it comes down to. We're not showing up, when we need to, especially down the stretch right now. And, we got every opportunity to keep ourselves in the race. We're not capitalizing when we need to.
Well, that was Aaron Judge. After the Yankees' 5-0 loss yesterday, they had one hit by 3 Braves pitchers. They're at 500 this late in the season for the first time since 1995. Welcome to the show, everybody. Michael Kay, Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg. August 16th, 2023. Now, we played that cut coming into the show because that is Exhibit 1A on how you get your manager fired. We're not showing up. Now, I can't speak for Judge. I don't think he meant it that way. Maybe he means showing up like they're not producing. Right. The words are the words, Don Peter. He's saying we're not showing up, which means they're not playing hard and they're not playing right. Now, it falls on 2 people. It falls on Aaron Boone, and Aaron Judge.
Sure.
Aaron Judge is kind of implicating himself, too. He's the captain of the team.
Yeah, but he's in a much safer position.
Much safer position.
But still, as the captain of the team, it might fall on you more than Boone. Because nobody should be able to communicate with his teammates better than Aaron Judge. He's Aaron Judge, for God's sakes.
Aaron freaking Judge.
The way I look at this, and I'm always loath to say this, guys, because it's a dangerous thing to say.
Oh, I hate danger.
They don't look like they're trying. I mean, when you don't hit, it always looks like you're not trying. But Paul O'Neill said this over the weekend, and I think it's true. They're a different team when they fall behind. And they fell behind with a 3-run home run in the first inning. That was it. 1 hit off Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder's not Max Fried, not Tom Glavine. He's a nice pitcher, but 1 hit in 7 innings, and then the 2 relievers don't even give up a hit. Then they hit into 4 double plays, and Gleyber Torres has hit into 17 double plays on the season, 6 in the last 6 games. You can't make this stuff up. And then when the captain said, we're not showing up, goodness, that's a bad look.
There's a term that gets thrown out in sports a lot, and I think it applies to the Yankees. And not just this year's Yankees, but in a lot of ways last year's Yankees and a lot of postseason Yankee play.
All right, go ahead.
I think they're front runners.
Yeah.
When things are going well, they could be unstoppable. The start of last season, they were just an unbeatable team. And then you hit some adversity, and I don't think this team does well when it faces adversity. There was a time, Michael, we talked about it chapter and verse, about they were better than anybody in sports, overcoming injuries and still finding ways to win. But now the injuries the last couple of years have really crippled them. They haven't had answers when they have had problems. This skid now has lasted, over a year now. They're under 500 now in the last 221 games, whatever it is. Now, that's a significant period of time. Are there winners on this team? Are there teams that can pick themselves up on their bootstraps and figure out a way to stop a losing streak and to get back on track? Yeah, sure, when things are going well and the team's playing well, then everything's great. But the true greatness, the true championship caliber teams, they find a way to recover when they get knocked down. I think this team's got a glass jaw, and I don't think they're close to being real winners. Based on how they perform in the postseason, based how they perform now facing adversity here, how they collectively folded when Judge got hurt. Maybe it's beyond whether they have the talent. Do they have the championship guts the cubes, as Michael likes to say, to go out there and win a championship.
Well, I mean, again, that's certainly a damning indictment if, in fact, it's true. All I can tell you is what I'm seeing. When they fall behind, they bag it. It seems like they bag it. They don't seem like they have that fight to them. And then you have the captain of the team saying, we're not showing up. Boy, that's a bad look for Aaron Boone. Yeah. Just an awful, awful look. And listen, I said this yesterday. This team's not good enough to win right now. They don't. I mean, everybody's jumping on Pedro Martinez for what he said yesterday on TNT. And what did he say that was wrong? He said when the Yankees are going good, it looks like, I'm paraphrasing now, a big dog and a Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua has no chance. He said, well, now they're the Chihuahua. Well, okay, what's so wrong about that? He's absolutely right.
Well, because he's Pedro and every Yankee fan hates Pedro.
Oh, okay, but you know what? You also have to look. You have to look deep and go. Right now, they are being manhandled by team. Now, listen. Every team's going to be manhandled by the Braves, but not by the Marlins, not by the White Sox. It's a bad look, and I just don't think they're good enough right now. I mean, we can talk about not trying hard, whatever the case may be. I see a decided different at bat when they're trailing than I do when they're leading, but the talent's not there. It's not. I mean, Jake Bowers is a nice fourth outfielder. He's playing all the time. IKF is a great utility guy. He's playing every single day. Every single day. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. The left fielder is a flip of the coin every single day. The catcher really doesn't hit, although Higashioka has been hitting some lately. They don't have starting pitching. Randy Vasquez is going today. And you know the sad part was, I don't know how many people watched the game yesterday, but Severino pitched well for him. For him. He pitched 4 innings. He gave up 3 runs. The error in the fourth inning led to the second home run by Acuna. He wouldn't even have gotten up in that inning. He's throwing 99 miles an hour. There's times that he's, in the second and third inning, you go, wow, that's who he's supposed to be. But you look up and it's 5-0.
I mean, 4 innings, 5 runs is what it is.
But this is even more an indictment on Cashman, Michael, because if we see this now, isn't he paid to see into the future? To look into his crystal ball and say, we're not good enough. Let's try to sell what we could sell. Like, why is Bader on this team if they're just going to lose? Could they have gotten something for Bader? Could they have maybe moved a Gleyber Torres? But they felt like it's going to come together. We're going to make this work. It's going to happen. Up until, really, when you go back to, I guess it was the day I left for vacation when they beat Verlander and the Astros, you felt like this team had a shot. But now it completely dissipated in like 10 days. Shouldn't you see the things that you're saying now, Michael? Should Brian have seen that at the deadline and started selling pieces off?
Again, it's a tiptoe around that. All right, I don't know if he had deals and then the front office or the ownership said, no, we're not selling off. We're not just going to give up. Or he didn't have deals. So, again, it's difficult to say exactly what went on behind closed doors. But if he didn't try and he didn't research this, I think that everybody and I think this is part of the problem, guys. Everybody in the Yankee organization felt there was a run in there. And I think that the players are like that, too. We're the New York Yankees. We're going to flip a switch, and it's all going to turn for us. That flip has that switch has never been flipped. It hasn't. No. They have not been able to turn it on. They haven't been able to turn it on since LeMahieu got hurt last year.
Yeah, it's really, and you say, the New York Yankees, they haven't been the Yankees in a long time, and it's not just one bad year. So I don't know what you do moving forward. I mean, as far as we couldn't sell off, Michael, because we've got to try to keep the fans engaged. I mean, the tickets are already sold. Do you realize how many people were at the Met Pirate game yesterday? Take a guess, Peter, what the attendance at the bottom of the box score said for Mets Pirates, 2 miserable baseball teams,
same record,
basically Tonka trucking each other for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That would actually be more exciting. What you just said.
They did give away a bobblehead yesterday.
That's
the Edwin
true.
Diaz bobblehead.
It should have been about 130 people.
What was it, 31?
But you're going to say
it was 35,000 people because the tickets are sold, Peter.
Right, so
they're sold.
How many were actually in the building? 18?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, but you also make money when people come into the building, Don. You want them to come into the building.
No, I get, but you do run that danger of now the fans are even more angry because you didn't sell off. Like what happened to the Angels. I mean, you think that worked out for the Angels, Michael, holding on to Ohtani and then immediately losing 6 straight games and then knocking yourself completely out of it? So I think you got to see the forest through the trees, man. I mean, you can't. I understand it's a business and there's money to make, and I'm not sure that there was a ton that they could have moved at the deadline that would have really replenished anything. But at the same time, them collectively believing that this team had a run in them is a whiff.
I'll tell you one thing.
Because it wasn't even close.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, they should be smarter than me, right?
Yeah.
I thought there was a run here.
But you're not paid. You're
I
not
get it.
paid
But
to know.
I mean, I really thought there was a run. I think everybody in baseball thought they were going to make a run because, I mean, no. But look, when I thought they were going to make a run, right? I thought Rodon was coming back. I thought that Cortez was coming back. I never thought that Severino would be like this for an extended period of time. That's 3/5 of your rotation. I didn't know Herman was going to have to go into rehab. So, I mean, it's a different team with those starters. It really, really is. I'm not saying that they would make the playoffs. I'm not making excuses for them. But when I thought they were going to make a run, I thought they were going to make a run with all of those other pieces in. Now Cortez is out for the rest of the year. Herman's out for the rest of the year. Montas has never pitched. They say that Rodon's going to come back sometime next week. But I think it might be too little too late. And I know what Aaron Boone is selling. Well, he was very honest yesterday, guys. You know, we stink. You know, it's terrible. He didn't say we stink. I don't have the cuts right in front of me. But he said they're not playing very well. They're trying to piece it together. You know, yesterday, Severino gives them 4 innings. They had to use all of their top-level relievers because they used more people the day before to cover innings. So now you got a kid pitching today against the best lineup in baseball. So what's Randy Vasquez going to do? And if he doesn't do well, how are they covering the innings?
Now, I wasn't as confident as you were that they'd make a run, but what made me believe they could still make it was not really believing in who they were chasing.
Right.
I thought, guys, is Toronto going to be able to maintain? Is Boston going to be able to maintain? Well, now Seattle got hot, so now they leapfrogged over the Yankees. Boston has remained pretty consistent. Toronto's been pretty consistent, so they haven't gotten any help above them, and now they've completely bottomed out. 4 straight losses, a run differential of -12. That's the question I want to know, Michael. I know it's the first time since '95 they've been 500 this late, and ironically, they made the playoffs that year
because they won 27-7 after that.
But when was the last time in the second half of August this team had a minus run differential? They're always the bombers. They always hit.
Yeah,
I would like to know the last time in August they were at -12 run differential.
There's no excuse for 1 hit last night. So to me, that's a part of the problem. You've got to manage more than 1 hit against Bryce Elder. We're in the middle of the Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. You know, and when things like this start happening, guys, everybody's falling out of the woodwork to criticize. So on the show, Foul Territory, so former Yankee minor leaguer Ben Ruda, I mean, he just destroyed what they do in the minor leagues. He's essentially saying they don't teach us how to play baseball. All they care about is that you hit the ball hard and that you strike people out. They would much rather you swing and miss and strike out than have a softly hit ball that goes for a hit. They don't care about wins and losses or anything like that. I mean, when you're told, we're not that heavily analytic, well, you are. You really are heavily analytic because if that's the preparation of youngsters in your minor league system, just hit the ball hard and throw the ball hard. I understand that velocity wins in baseball, but also if you could change speeds, it wins as well. So listen, Ben Ruda, a minor leaguer that didn't make it, so he maybe has an axe to grind. But this is the type of thing that's going to come out now. Everybody that was afraid to say something now is going to say something because they didn't want to say anything before because you know what? It looked like it worked. But now that this is a season where everything has gone wrong, then everybody that disagrees with it is going to open their mouth. Watch. It's going to be a flood. It's going to be a flood of these sorts of statements from people that no longer work with the Yankees. Because,
listen, there's a lot of people that are right now having a lot of fun watching this team collapse. Because as much as they're beloved, they're also equally as hated. That's what comes with being the Yankees and the Cowboys and the Celtics and the Canadians is that they have just as many people who despise them as love them. Like, nobody's on the fence about those teams. So there are going to be a lot of people coming out of the woodwork, although Ruda was on with Anita a month ago and said the same thing when the Yankees didn't collapse. But isn't that part of the design, Michael? You're a win-now team. Now, they cultivate certain prospects, like they got Judge and Volpe, and there's guys in the system, but is it an organization that's worried about the future, or are they worried about the immediate? So, they should be spending time with their minor league system, but that's not really where they get a lot of their talent. It's not the design of the organization to bring a bunch of young guys up. It's about filling with free agents or making trades and taking on salary and having veterans because you're expected to go out there and win a World Series every year.
Well, let's put it this way. If they play like this the rest of the season, there's about a quarter of the season left, then, I mean, Hal Steinbrenner has to ask serious, hard questions, and not just questions. He's got to do things. He's got to show the fan base this is not going to stand under my watch. Yes. And, since he's taken over, they haven't had a losing season. They usually make the postseason. So, I mean, for them to finish last and to limp to the finish line where the captain of the team says, we're not showing up. I mean, what an indictment. What an indictment to everybody. First of all, we're saying that it's a bad look for Boone. And it is, because when you're the leader, you take the hit. It's a bad look for all the players, too. How dare you? The money that you make and you're not showing up? It's not that hard to play baseball for 2.5 hours, 3 hours a day. You're not showing up? What else are you doing? You shouldn't be having fun when you're losing. Now, I know how baseball is. I've been around baseball 37 years now. Players don't take every loss to heart. So when fans are like depressed and they throw things around their house and a team loses a tough game in July, you know what? The players shake it off and they go out and they live their life. But the way you're playing now on a consistent basis, there shouldn't be fun. There shouldn't be smiles. There was a shot in the dugout the other day of Rizzo and Judge and Stanton smiling. I have no idea what they were smiling about. Maybe it was a cryptic smile. But again, you have to be aware that fans are living and dying with the team. You cannot put on a happy face. You can't. You have to show the fans you're just as upset as them. And again, a loss in July shouldn't send you spiraling like it does a fan. But the way you've played now, and on August 16th, you're a 500 team and you're in last place, you shouldn't be having that much fun. When the game is over, you should be thinking about what you do. And for the captain of the team to say we're not showing up, what an indictment on everybody.
So how do they respond to that? All right, the captain just called his team out. How do they respond tonight? Now, it's tough. You basically don't have a starting pitcher going up against a really good pitcher and the best team in baseball. So don't go out and get one hit again. You got to respond in some way, shape, or form to your captain calling you out. Because remember, we all love Aaron Judge, right? He's not Derek Jeter yet.
Nope.
There's no rings jingling and jangling here. And quite frankly, there's not a lot of postseason success for Aaron Judge. So he's the captain. He should be the captain. He's well paid. He's the best player on the team. They all love him. But this is the time where a captain really is supposed to make his money. This is where you need a captain. When you're winning and everything's going great, it's easy to be a leader. Now it's a tough time to be a leader. So let's see how his players, this is his team, he's the face of the franchise, how do they respond to that indictment tonight?
And it's also interesting with captains because you have to have lieutenants too. And Jeter had great lieutenants. Mm-hmm. Posada was like Captain 1A. If Jeter was Captain 1, Posada was a captain without the C, and Tino was that way. They get in your face. They would just get in your face. So, I mean, he needs help. Judge is new with this. He needs help. He needs help from Rizzo. He needs help from Stanton. He needs help from the veterans on this team. But to come out and say we're not showing up, wow.
Yeah, well, he said it. Now what do you do? Now how do they respond? Now, Rizzo, he's got a ring. He's got leadership qualities, but he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, he's not with the team now. He went back home.
I don't know how that helps, but moving forward, this is where you've got to, maybe he's got to recruit guys. He's got to find those lieutenants. So, again, just being a captain of a team isn't just being the best player on the team. It means during crisis mode, everybody's going to be looking at you. Because I don't even know if they're looking at Boone. I'm sure they read the reports. Maybe they think that their manager's already gone. But to Peter's point, Judge isn't going anywhere. He's got 8 years left on his contract after this, so he's not going anywhere. So if you've given up on your manager, if you've given up on your season, are you going to give up on your captain? Because that's in essence what you're doing. So respond to at least what your captain told you.
Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers, the engagement experts. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the newest location, the mall at Short Hills. Let's take some phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. And let's go to Brian in Pennsylvania. Brian, you started off.
Hey, how you doing, Michael? You guys are the best part of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean that.
Thank you.
So, so I hear you when you say that the Yankees aren't built for a rebuild. I understand all that, but I disagree with the notion that most of the fan base would be not accepting of it, because I think all we want from the organization is just honesty. What I mean by that is, if Hal Steinbrenner would just get in front of the cameras at Yankee Stadium and just say, hey, this is a terrible season. We understand that. This team has not performed well. We need to completely rethink how we do things. And we promise we're going to put a product on the field that we can be proud of and that you can be proud of. I'd accept that.
But would you accept, Brian, would you accept we're going to tear it down and we're going to be losers for 4 years? No, you wouldn't.
Why do you just say 4? Why would it take 4 years?
Because that's what it took. Because I'm just looking at the other team. That's what it took for the Astros. It took for the Cubs. Then it took 6 years for the Orioles.
Yeah, but I don't think the Yankees would be that way, because they've got money to spend. And the same thing. It's why with Cohen, I don't believe it's going to take that long. I mean, you've got money. The Orioles wasn't spending the money that the Yankees do, or the Astros. They have money to spend, but not like the Yankees do.
Well, the Cubs have a lot of money.
But the Cubs, they were purposely tanking and taking advantage of a fan base that goes to Wrigley Field and fills the building no matter how bad the team is. I mean, a team that didn't win a World Series between 1908 and 2016. So they were taking advantage of a fan base that doesn't seem to care about winning. But, I don't think it would take 4 years. I don't think that nobody's just saying tank for 4 years. It's just, why can't you kind of reimagine the team?
Well, Brian, maybe I'm misunderstanding you. I mean, they are going to, I think they're going to really make major changes on this team if they end up finishing in last place. But I'm just caught in the translation. They're not going to lose on purpose to get high draft picks. They're not going to do that. Because even when you said what fans would support it, Don, Camden Yards was a ghost town. Houston was a ghost town.
Well,
nobody came. You've got to feed the beast.
I think you're taking a leap. I don't think anybody's suggesting they tank. It's just can you reset?
Yeah, they can reset.
That's what we're saying. Like, I don't think the Mets are tanking in 2024.
Well, that's what they told Scherzer.
No, they didn't say they were tanking.
They said we're not going to win until 25.
Well, I think there is a gap between we're not going to win in 2024 and we're tanking. It's just being realistic and saying, I don't think we're going to have the components to compete for a World Series in 2024, but we're going to be competitive, and we're going to put together a team that by 2025 or 2026 is going to be ready to win a World Series. Not like, we're going to be the Oakland A's and not care in 2024 and then reset for 2025. It just means that we might not win a championship, but we're trying to build towards that, and it'll be right away. It might be just 1 year in which we don't win a championship to get to where we can be at the level of the Braves and the Astros and the other teams that are going to be competing for a championship.
Let's go to Matthew in Brooklyn. Matthew.
Hey, guys, 2 things. I'm not surprised they got 1 hit. The Yankees have not had balance in their lineup for 15 years. Every guy just gets up there and swings for the fences. The second thing, if they're so big on analytics, why do they have the second biggest payroll? Isn't analytics supposed to be a smaller payroll to win?
Well, no. I mean, the Astros are heavily analytic, and they've got the 4th or 5th highest payroll in baseball. What the Yankees and those teams say is, if we could be the smartest team and also have the money to supplement with the pieces that we need, like go out and get a Garrett Cole, then that makes us even better. I mean, I think analytics started with the Oakland A's because they were trying to find market inequities and try to make a team that was good, undervalued assets, and build them that other teams didn't figure it out. But then everybody started to figure it out. In fact, the Yankees figured it out before Billy Beane. Stick Michael was well ahead of the curve when it came to that, because he was always looking for guys with high on-base percentage. But then it became Billy Ball. But the bottom line, or Moneyball, the bottom line is everybody's looking to be the smartest. I've always argued with people with the Yankees, well, you have to be the smartest guy in the room. You're the prettiest guy in the room. You're the most handsome guy in the room. Can't have everything, so use what you have. But they want to be both. I don't blame them. They want to be great. But at this point, I thought Joel Sherman had a great line in his column the other day in the New York Post. He said 25 teams are heavily analytic out of 30. So if there are 25 analytics teams. Where is your team? Is it first or second and third, or is it 15th, 16th, 17th? And if it's in the lower part of that 25, you know what? Then get new people or reimagine yourself. It's the only thing you can do. Would You Wednesday today. Charlotte Flair is going to join us at 4 o'clock. We're excited about that. WrestleMania tickets on sale today, right, Pete?
They're pre-sale today. They're officially on sale on Friday.
And then we'll have Jordan Ron on to talk some Giants as well. Hey, I talk for a living, and whether I'm in the studio...
So, you need a suit. A tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party. Or you're someone's plus one. And the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux. And we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
There's an easier way with Thumbtack. Download the app today and care for your home from top to bottom.
Begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT Turbo Max pickups, or current Chevy owners get $9,000 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your local Chevy dealer.
What can you get for 10 cents? How about a pocket full of cash to spend on a tropical vacation, sports car, you name it? Because with jackpots on DraftKings Casino, you could turn 10 cents into tens of thousands, even over $1 million, on roulette, slots, blackjack, baccarat, and more. Jackpot winnings are at 10 million and counting this year, and the next could hit any second. So score the latest jackpots offer when you get the #1 most downloaded online casino app. DraftKings Casino. Go where the jackpots grow.
Ronald Acuna Jr., binging all his favorite rom-com movies. How did we get here?
You're all set. Refrigerator's fixed.
That's it?
That's it. All done.
Cool. Ronald Acuna Jr. downloaded the new Front Door app to get real-time help from a video expert for his home repair and maintenance needs.
Woo! Let's go.
So all that's left to do is be done. Introducing Front Door, an all-new home repair and maintenance app. Download today.
If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, choose the right law firm by asking, what are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Weitz and Luxembourg at 800-LAW-6789 to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit mesowin.com.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
And parents of sick children have tons of decisions to make. Like movie night, game night, or should we finish that book tonight? We don't perform surgeries, just talent shows. We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. Well, we have a few beeping machines. We think the tooth fairy should travel everywhere. And while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. We don't provide treatment, but we do provide dogs. And we throw some really good parties. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
The Emmy-winning HBO original docuseries Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets is back, giving fans unprecedented access to the most talked about story in football. Can Aaron Rodgers help make the Jets a playoff team again? Hard Knocks is now streaming on Max. If you watched yesterday, very clear what they're nervous about. They're nervous about their offensive line. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But Robert Saleh in front of the team said, if our offensive line doesn't do a good job, we're not going to take that next step.
Now, since you mentioned it, Michael, can you see? Do you have a monitor in front of you?
Yes.
What I have in my possession here are the 2023 Jet season tickets. I picked them up today.
Whoa, I got to see these puppies.
So I reached out to Shaq, and we're going to meet up on Friday. He's got the tickets. He gets a magnet with the schedule.
Oh, who doesn't love a magnet?
You also got the nice, big, thick Jet yearbook.
Oh, can I take a
look at that?
I've never had anything like this. This is nice.
And then, this is even better than the tickets, the parking passes. And then the actual tickets themselves, all here, all ready for Shaq. And the first preseason game is Saturday against the Bucks, so he's all set.
See, right here, Peter, it's the difference between me and Don, right? I lose a bet, I sign a cap, send it out. He's got to give season tickets to the Jets away.
I got to tell you,
I Venmo'd the money. That hurt.
That actually,
Nancy was actually mad at me.
Nancy should have walked out on you for about a week.
I'm trying to see if there's any advertisement for the show inside the magazine. We are partners. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, there it is. ESPN New York. Look at that. Oh.
What does this have? With the Michael K show with just a picture of Michael?
No, not even a picture. It just says the Michael K show.
Oh, there you go. That's all.
Interesting.
So this is beautiful. I can't believe how big a win this was for our listeners.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, I had the exact opposite experience. Do you know that I think I told you guys this before. In like 2000 or whatever it was, I bought a partial plan to the Wizards. And, you know, at 20 years old, whatever I was when I got them, 21, we were so psyched that we scored a partial plan where it was like $50 a ticket, 2 tickets. Anyways, we split it up for a year. We sold the tickets. The next year, Jordan joins the Wizards.
Oh, no.
Tickets go through the roof. You can't get a ticket. This is the opposite. Shaq wins the contest as Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, this is
unbelievable what this one was.
What a win.
And again, Michael, Don didn't just throw this thing together like some yokel.
Right.
This is the actual pack of season.
No, I didn't want it virtual. I didn't want to email anything. And again, yearbook, magnet, the whole nine.
Unreal.
But I told Shaq, if he gets ahead of line, I bought these from a former cop. And he knows all the security. It's just so if he acts like a buffoon, we'll take him right out of it. Well, I'll go to his house and
strip
just
him
drag it
right
right out of his dresser
his cold
drawer.
dead hands.
So he better be
You know
on his
what,
best
Don? You're a
behavior.
good man. Not a smart one, but you're a good man. You really are.
Well, but you were there when we made the bet, Peter.
Yeah.
But why would you bet something so outrageous?
Because it was, well, he suggested it, and I was going to get sesame chicken for life until one of his friends said, you can't do that this shot, because nobody thought he was going to win. The offense and defensive rookies of the year?
It was impossible.
And not only
It was
that,
impossible.
it was. Let's say it wasn't Garrett Wilson, right? It would have been Breece Hall. He had it even if Garrett Wilson, if Breece Hall didn't get hurt.
That.
Yeah.
Everyone says that. He really had that in half a season.
I think so. If he kept playing like that, sure.
But he did. I mean, but it was only half a season, and then he got hurt. So
yeah, well, he wouldn't have won if Wilson didn't play well. You're right, but I'm just saying that the guy it was a great draft.
He had 2 chances. Yeah, he had 2 chances at offense, and then interestingly, take defense off the table because Gardner won it by week 4. It was over.
It was over.
So it was really only one he had to win.
But
right.
you know what? What?
Can I see what the season tickets feel like in my hand? I've never even held season tickets.
Yeah, take a look. No, there's something, Michael. I don't know how you feel about it because you haven't been a fan in a long time. There's something about season tickets.
I never had season tickets. I couldn't afford them.
I think you could now if you wanted to push yourself.
Like when I had the Mets partial plan. It's nice to have.
Don had that rare
tickets.
partial plan, Peter, of just Giant games, just when the Giants came to town.
Well, you know the story. Nancy wanted to get Giant tickets. The Mets called, and she's like, "Well, we can discount the tickets for you if you buy other tickets." So Nancy comes to me and says, "What games do you want to go to?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know what?
Take this one.
Groucher's a Cardinal fan. I'll get Cardinal. Phillies. Andrew's a Philly fan.
Because you're a good man.
And I got Dodgers and Yankees and all that. And so basically, I had got the partial plan just so that Nancy can get the Giant tickets. And then they went to the World Series that year. Beautiful. And then they jacked up the price and didn't make that package available anymore because that's what happens when you win. And I was out.
But you got one nice year.
Yeah, it was nice.
Hey, it's game time. Brought to you by
Sure it
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Yankees and the Braves tonight. Charlie Morton against Randy Vasquez. That's a 7:20 start. And the Mets are playing right now, Don, at Citi Field. What's the score? Do you have a score? I'd like a score.
The last I saw was 7-3.
Mets.
What
is it now? 8-3, you said, Anthony?
Yeah.
8-3. What inning?
It's on the television, but they always put it on the TV that the light blocks. So I actually have to watch on the computer because they put it on the TV that I can't see.
Not right.
I mean, listen,
I'm
bottom
not
7,
Peter.
Yeah, you're going to be all right.
I'm not.
Just look up the score.
Who cares? I'm not dying.
It's game time. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. During the big games this season, enjoy a Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Remember, when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy responsibly. Let's go to Charlie in Queens. Charlie?
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to make a few points. I called up Friday about the analytics about, how they don't work on certain people because of, people are different when they rise to the occasion. They don't. But I want to talk about the pitching staff. And we got Garrett Cole. We're paying him $37 million to be the ace. I've seen Boone at least 5 times take him out this year in the 7th inning with him giving up 2 runs or less. The other day against the Marlins, he gave up 2 runs and he went out with the lead. You got to let him stay on that mound till he dies. He's our custody. He's our guy. You can't keep bringing in these bullpen guys. And then they brought in Wandy Peralta. He pitched okay. And then they take him out and they bring in Holmes. Now, Holmes, you could tell right away. I watch just about every game. As soon as he doesn't have it, the first couple batters, he's dead.
That never happened.
But Charlie, he had it for 3 straight months, so you knew right away that he was going to be bad.
But
no, I didn't know. I'm not blaming him. What I'm blaming Boone about is taking out Cole.
Yeah, but Cole was at 100. Charlie, you say he's the horse. Can you imagine if they lost Cole? They might not never win another game. There's a certain amount of pitches that they want him to throw.
He could have pitched through 8. Cole would have came in the 9th inning and still would have blown. Holmes. So no, stop it. Because who takes out their closer? Tell me who brings in their closer, gives up a couple hits, and takes their closer out. Now, if you want to take him out when he make it 7-7, after he's already blown the save, but who? Oh, I got a feeling I got a hunch he doesn't have it today. I'm pulling my closer out. That doesn't happen.
And also, the basic premise from Charlie is you let the guy pitch till he drops. Okay, then he drops. Then what happens?
He drops. Then what you got?
What do you got?
But
you got to protect your investment. And let me let you all in on a little secret. Boone's not making this decision in a vacuum. He's conversing with Cole. If Cole wants to go back out there, he'll allow him to go back out there. Cole has final say.
But it does seem like 100 pitches is this line of demarcation.
Oh, it's ridiculous, but that's what it is.
I can see it irritates fans. I get that. Now, I don't think it cost them the game on Sunday. It would have happened anyway. If I can't pull my ace out of a 7-2 game going into the 7th inning, then give me a break. But there are times it feels like you can get more out of him than they do, especially for the money they're paying.
Let's go to Eric in Astoria. Eric.
Hey, Michael. My first time, long time.
Welcome aboard.
Don, love your commentary. And Peter, congrats on the wedding. And just one point for Peter. For the people that believe you don't bring anything to the show, they're crazy.
Oh.
They don't listen and know your background as a professional from WWE and Hot 97 and all the points you make now. So it's a different perspective, but they're nuts.
And we appreciate that. Before we hang up on Eric, we just want to let you know that he wasn't listening. We didn't say it at the beginning of the show. Michael, we decided after you were off that if anybody congratulates Peter on his wedding, they're automatically disconnected.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was
we've
that.
decided that, no, it's been long
Eric,
enough.
you got
Eric,
the last one.
You got the last one.
Okay, I'll take it, and I apologize. All right. And, Michael, one quick point. When you first started the show and all the yelling, I couldn't stand the show, and I swear, it's like I'm not listening. And then all the Yankee points and the points you made, guess what? You won me over. And I swear, I've been listening every day, and I'm like, okay, I stand corrected.
Well, thanks.
But just to move on to baseball points, guys, just a couple of points, and then if you think I sound like an idiot, you can say, hey, okay, crazy. But I believe Cashman is great with his bullpen choices because if you've seen, he's always finding these gems.
Yep.
But I just feel like with his choices, with starting pitchers from Kevin Brown, Wright, Weaver, Sonny Gray, it's just that, you know, he's just been bad at that. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Rodon comes back and he proves us otherwise, you know, corrected. But what do you guys think of the another youth movement as in like 2016? They traded all those guys. Should they have said, okay, let's release the Bowers, the McKinneys, the Frenchies, clear up some spots and bring in maybe and take that youth movement and bring it, screw the times of like playing time and bring up the Dominguez. Look at Chaparro. Chaparro's at playing third base for the Rail Riders. He's got a pretty good 20 home runs, 71 RBIs, 70 runs, strikes out 99, but he also walks 55 walks.
Well, I think if they keep losing, Eric, right, and they really, I mean, come close to mathematically being out of it, then I could see them calling up Everson Pereira, who they're still, I think, a little bit unsure defensively in the outfield, calling up Peraza. You know, Chaparro's not on the 40-man roster. You're not going to lose players that you think have value to bring up, you know, Andres Chaparro. You're not. Everybody wants to see the kids. The kids have to be on the 40-man roster. Dominguez is not on the 40-man roster. I think that I thought if you listen to the show in spring training, I thought we might see Dominguez this year. I was told by higher ups that they think that much of him, and since the beginning of July, he's been on fire. But the 40-man roster is a very complicated thing that a lot of us don't understand. They don't want to lose players that are under their control just to give a look-see at a rookie. They're just not going to do that. And it has nothing to do with starting the clock early. The Yankees couldn't care less about that. They have the money to pay somebody. They do. Remember how we celebrated, Don, that the Mets didn't worry about the clock on Pete Alonso?
Right.
How about now? He wouldn't be a free agent after next year if they had waited until May of that year to bring him up. But they started at the beginning of spring training, so he's a free agent at the end of 2024 rather than at the end of 2025 because the Mets were so brave about it. Now they've got great seasons out of him, 53 home runs as a rookie.
He broke the rookie record with home runs. So.
They've won nothing, right? So now you're going to have to pay. Wouldn't you like to have another year before you have to make that decision?
Yeah, but at least with Cohen, I'm less worried about it than with the Wilpon.
That's true. That's true. All right, Would You Wednesday's coming up. Some interesting ones. We'll see what the guys do. It's the summer of Schweppes. Schweppes is the...
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
Emily wanted to create something special for her husband. Something delightful. This called for Zazzle. And it was perfect.
Oh, wow.
Now she's sort of obsessed. Creating for her.
Thank you so much. I love it.
For this. And, well, everything. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com.
The reason I can cut fast is because of proper technique.
Ah, that's a sandwich.
If you can sculpt a castle, you can sculpt anything.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
These jeans are woman size 34. That was a wake-up call for me. I'm 42, but my body felt like it was 90 years old. Found paired me with a team of clinicians and found the right medication. I'm down 78 pounds because of Found, and I'm just getting started. And because of Found, I have more confidence in myself. I'm actually in photos with my family. I'm getting my steps in each day. Found has changed my life. Go to joinfound.com just to see if the program's right for you.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
Trying on glasses using Warby Parker's virtual try-on is so lifelike, so realistic, that you might not even be able to tell what's real from what's virtual. Yep, it's that good. Virtually try on hundreds of styles in the Warby Parker app.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home acing it. Our convenient options are ready in as little as 15 minutes and way quicker than takeout. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
If the peanut butter in a Reese's could talk to the chocolate, what would it say? You complete me. Should we start a podcast? Who does your ridges?
With Allegra, allergies don't hold us back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin. And unlike Zyrtec, it won't make us drowsy, so you can live your greatness. And for kids, try Children's Allegra, the #1 allergist-recommended non-drowsy brand.
Intuitive sit to start in the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW.
Visit your Volkswagen dealer for 3.9% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2023 all-electric ID4.
The promise of America is freedom, equality. But right now, those pillars of our democracy are fragile. Reproductive rights, voting rights, the right to make your own choices and have your voice heard. We must act now to restore and protect these freedoms for us and for the future. We are the American Civil Liberties Union, and we are fighting in every state, every day to defend your rights and the rights of all people.
We have got to be here. We've got to be strong to protect those rights.
For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought for everyone to have a voice and equal justice, and we will never stop. Because we, the people, means all of us. To learn more about defending our democracy, go to myaclu.org today.
It's uncomfortable.
No, I don't think I could.
Really? But she's total smoke show.
At times incriminating.
Hold on.
Let's not be rash.
Let's not be Don. Hold on, but don't answer yet.
And a Michael K. Show favorite.
Michael, you're such a child.
It's the Would Ya Game.
We play it off the air all the time. The Would Ya Game.
All right, here we go. I did these this morning in the hotel room.
I'd like to say it's two things.
What's that?
Number one, I'd like to say that while this is not my number one segment on the show, it is my number one. I think it's the number one intro we play on the show. I love the intro.
I do like it.
It's tremendous. And number two, I think Don wanted to do Woodges today, and you completely bigfooted him.
Don, is that true? That's not what we just said.
Well, it was kind of true. Well, here's what happened. I said, if you want me to pick it up, Michael, I could do that for you.
Because I'm starting to run out of them. So I said,
right.
yeah, do it. I said, I've got them for today. Do it next week.
See, I didn't hear that part, so I panicked because I didn't have one, and I thought we would have an empty segment. I was very happy that you
listen, you can have it, baby. I'll hand it right off.
Whoa. Okay, no, go ahead. You got this.
All right. Dream woman. I mean, you're ideal. I think with Don, it's Kate Beckinsale.
That's right.
I don't know who it is with Peter.
What's the matter with you? It's my dream girl. What do you got to critique?
Why are you shooting that down, Peter? The girl's the woman is in Mensa, by the way.
Hold on, I didn't. What did I mumble?
No, you said something on the.
I was probably thinking. I'm not very bright, so when I start to think, I mean,
like your lips move when you read. Is that what you're saying? Like
kind of, yeah. Like I was thinking. I mean, no, but it's true. Beckinsale wouldn't be mine, but we all have our own choices.
So who would yours be?
Was that a wood? Is that? Oh, you want me to set the scene?
Yeah, I want to set the scene here.
In your mind's eye, Susan.
I will go with either 92 Halle Berry or 98 Salma Hayek.
So you think they're going to be really attractive and when they're 92 and 98?
The thing that's amazing, the thing that really shows you about Don, my perspective and the kind of eye that I have, is are there two actors in all of Hollywood who have aged better than Halle Berry and Salma Hayek? I thought this 25 and 22 years ago with these two.
I think Jen Aniston is aged very nicely.
She has,
but they're right in the conversation of greatest.
Okay,
but go ahead.
All right, so your wives never know. This is a fantasy. Would you give up a week at the end of your life to hook up with your dream woman for one night?
No. Absolutely not.
You sure?
Because I know I cheated.
Oh, wait, no. You're saying it's cheating, or they just wouldn't know that you're giving up the week of life?
They wouldn't even, it wouldn't be cheating.
It's not cheating.
It's not cheating. It's not. We're removing that out of the equation. So this is
don't
just.
think about the cheating part. It's about the losing the life.
Would you give up the week at the end of your life? You could be 96. For that one hookup with Kate Beckinsale and or Halle Berry and or Salma Hayek.
But here's the guilt you have to think about, Don. God forbid you don't make it to 96. You're nowhere near 96. And then you're with your wife.
That's the
risk.
Here
comes the day, and you're like, oh, it's all because I said yes to Beckinsale that one night.
But see, I'm really morbid. Follow my thinking. I need a ruling on this, Mike.
All right.
What if, God forbid, I don't got a week? Do I at least get to complete the date?
Yes.
Or is it like in the middle of it?
No,
you're gone because you only had 3 days.
To completion, if you know what I mean. To completion.
Wow. Okay. That's one way
to completion.
It's really tough because again, everybody thinks on
children.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no because a week with my family and my kids.
Wow.
What if it's the week of my daughter's wedding?
Yeah, that's a gamble. You're right.
It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Oh man, That is just really good stuff by you. One of your best.
Yeah, this is so Peter's still on the fence.
Yeah, I'm
because he's being real. You're a liar.
Well, let me just say this. I know that if you had said to me at the time at which I was in love with these two women, you could have said, would you drop dead in 6 weeks? And I would have said yes.
Wow.
There's nothing that would have made me say no. I challenge anyone out there to go watch either Strictly Business or The Last Boy Scout and tell me I'm wrong. But you know what, Michael? I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
I'll take off the week.
Yeah.
I like it.
Take the week. It's a full.
No, you can't join that.
Oh, she can't join. Okay.
Well, if she could join, can you make it 2 weeks?
No, not 2 weeks. We both have to. No, it'd be the opposite. If she joins, can we cut it to like 3 days?
All right, so let's move on to the next one. I want you both to picture in your mind somebody that you just cannot stomach. You hate them with a white-hot ferocity that you can't even put into words. All right, so you have that person?
I don't know if I have a person that I hate that much.
All right, Craig Carton. Wait, you didn't want me to say it out loud. Okay, I'm sorry. It was in my head. I'm just kidding. Okay, hold on. Let me think of someone. I don't hate anyone.
Yeah, it's really. I don't have a laminated list. Like to that level, there's people I dislike. But
all right, so somebody.
Oh no, I got one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
All right, so would you rather be stuck on a deserted island all alone for eternity, all alone, or with somebody that you just cannot stand?
Oh, you got to go with the person you cannot stand.
Yeah,
I saw a documentary about this once.
It was called Castaway.
Correct. And I'm not befriending a volleyball. I would rather spend eternity with one of these yo-yos than a volleyball.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's so, what if you turn out you like each other? What if you find a middle ground? What if would you able to help improve
No,
the other
you're going to hate
person?
each other for eternity.
The whole time?
Yeah, you just despise
Yeah, but at least
the
it's
look of it.
entertaining then to hate them, and you could fight. You know, your brain would get some exercise by yourself. That's you're
even
with me.
fighting. You're communicating.
Right.
You just
All right,
and probably at some point there'd probably be lovemaking involved as well.
Oh, really? This is fine. I got 20 seconds because we have Charlotte Flair coming up.
Okay, don't make her wait.
Would you
That's the
rather
queen.
speak to animals, have the ability to speak to animals, or speak 10 foreign languages fluently?
Oh, easily the latter. Oh, how do we know these animals have anything to say?
Well, I don't think that's easy for Peter. Peter would love to have a conversation with Bear.
You mean the animals? You guys can fully communicate back and forth.
You're Peter Doolittle.
10 different languages, Peter.
That's the thing, because if I could understand Bear, and I finally understand him, I'm like, all right, Bear, what do you have to say? And then he's just like, food.
That's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean it's going to be an intelligent conversation.
Did I tell you that Bear dropped a huge deuce in an Uber the other day?
Oh, I don't think you got 5 stars, Skippy.
It was not a great day. No one was shrouded in glory. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Don with the languages. I think 10 languages is unbelievable.
All right, there you go. That was a very good would you.
That was the best.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't even dark. It was just fun.
No, it was very fun. The Smashing Pumpkins are coming to PNC Bank Arts Center Thursday, August 24th, and Northwell Health at Jones Beach Theater on Wednesday, August 30th. Keep it locked in for your chance to score a pair of tickets. Brought to you by Live Nation. Tickets are going on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Speaking of tickets, pre-orders of WrestleMania coming up next April today, and tomorrow everybody could buy. And we're going to talk to one of the stars of the WWE, one of the superstars, Charlotte Flair. Did I do that right, Peter?
I would say she's one of the great superstars of all time.
All
Yeah,
time.
sure you do. Yeah.
Well, she'll join us in just a moment. Don's going to tell us about home box office.
Welcome to the Athletic Basketball Show. Folks, the league is in absolute chaos. Players going off pretty much every other playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers. It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the all of the young future Hall of Famers.
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
Hi, I'm Sophia, founder of Pair Eyewear.
the only glasses you can change, like you change your clothes. Each pair starts with a base frame, then choose from over hundreds of designs and snap on any top to create an infinite number of looks. All of our glasses are anti-glare, scratch resistant, and every pair starts at just $60, including prescription lenses. Glasses are an extension of your personality, and we're here to celebrate each and every version of you. Discover your next pair at paireyewear.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. Join and get free salmon for 3 months. ButcherBox.
Hey. Rental? Yep. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied. Oh. Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from theblackducktux.com.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned, with even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. More color, more luggage, more travel. Shop at awaytravel.com.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get an F-150 or F-150 Lightning with 3.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
For those that love the WWE, you are going to love this next segment. We have one of the greatest of all time in studio. Unfortunately, I'm in Atlanta, but Don and Peter are with Charlotte Flair. Now, WrestleMania 40 is in Philadelphia this April. Tickets are on sale Friday. Pre-sale right now. And Peter, I'm going to let you lead this, but Charlotte, first off, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it.
Let's start with the subject at hand. The reason you're here, you're on the big WrestleMania 40 press run. Doesn't it feel like it's such a crazy schedule you guys live? Because WrestleMania just happened. It feels
But
like.
are you surprised I'm on the press run?
No. This is what you signed up for.
Yes.
This is what it is to be the queen.
Challenger champion 7 years in a row.
At Mania.
At WrestleMania.
And this one was a really
So
cool
going
one.
into 40 will be 8.
Oh, that's happening. You're sure?
No, it'll be my 8th year, but if I had to bet on someone going in as challenger champion, I would bet on myself.
What's your favorite Mania match so far?
Oh, that's so hard. Everyone asks me that. They're all so different. I'm proud of each one for different reasons. 32 put me on the map.
That was the championship.
32 is when I retired the Divas Championship.
And became the first women's
and
champion.
And the inaugural Raw Women's Championship, yes. And then 33, Triple Threat, it was just fun. 34, Asuka, I think, cemented my legacy. 35, obviously, because we were the main event. 36, Rhea and I did what we could in the COVID era.
Oh, yeah, that was
It was still an incredible match. Yeah. Then I missed for COVID. Then beating Ronda Rousey at the one in Dallas was like a bucket list. And then Rhea full circle. Just proud of the moment.
This last one.
Yep.
Now, when you were wrestling in front of maybe 90 to 100,000 people, you've been doing this for a long time, and you're great at what you do. Are there nerves involved? Do you get butterflies when you come out in WrestleMania?
I still get nervous before SmackDown.
Really?
Or even live events, yes.
Even live events?
Even live events. Because I'm so competitive with myself. Like, even a live event, I'm like, I'm going to have the best match ever. I'm just wired differently, I guess.
Well, but that has to keep you motivated too, right? Because with the second you get bored and you don't get excited anymore, it's not quite the same.
Well, I feel like there's such a high expectation of my work that no matter the venue or whether it's WrestleMania or a live event in Greensboro, North Carolina, like I feel that pressure because you always want to make a new fan, right? You always want to make someone new smile. So I feel like if they've heard, oh, that's Charlotte Flair, then I got to be that Charlotte Flair that night.
Right.
Is it tough, Charlotte, to be, you're not only living up to your name, but you're living up to your dad's name, an iconic wrestler himself. Has that been difficult for you in this business?
Yes, Peter. No, we've had many talks when I first started in 2015. Very difficult, mixed blessing, but it made me who I am today. And when they paired my dad up with me, or when he was my manager in 2015 and 16, all I could think to myself was, my dad naturally just wants to steal the show, like all attention on him. So how am I going to get the audience to focus on me? And when it was a real sink or swim moment, and because I went out there every night going like, they have to focus on me and I have to outshine my dad, even though he's not trying to steal my shine.
So it's not that he was. It's not that he was. It's that you felt that way.
I felt that way.
Looking back, do you think he was, or do you think he was trying to get you over with the fans?
I don't think he. I don't. So he might. I don't think he. I think he thought being him would get me over. If that makes any sense.
Right, just being him and being there and being next to you.
Yeah.
And how effective was it in your eyes?
I thought when I turned on him, that was the biggest, like a bigger moment.
Right.
Like going against him versus beside him.
Right.
But it was just more like he's such a character, just being him. It's how do I top that naturally?
Well, but let's throw in the other factor to give Michael and Don and our listeners some more insight. Not only are you thinking about how you're performing and how the fans will accept you, but now your dad, who is, and I say this in truly the most loving of ways because I do love the man, who's a maniac on the road, right? I mean, like, so not only are you worried about how you guys are performing, but now you're the reason that your dad's back out on the road every week, and your dad doesn't know how to be on the road and just go to work, go home and watch Golden Girls and go to sleep.
No.
So you have to worry then about, you're just getting accustomed to the business. Was that hard to then worry about your dad?
Well, you know what's weird? Like he would sit and talk to the guys and they would ask him questions because he'd sit at the monitor at live events. And I could see him giving great advice, but I never went to him and sat at the monitor and said, hey, what could I do better? Because I didn't feel that connection with him that he could look at me in a non-biased way and tell me what to do. Like I remember asking him for advice before Hell in a Cell, and he was like, just go feel it. I'm like, I'm main eventing Hell in a Cell. What do you mean just go feel it? Like, I don't know if it was his way of tough love or he just didn't know better, but I respected and appreciated how much the guys took his advice. But if I went up to him and said, hey, what should I do in this match? I didn't feel the same connection or the same amount of effort to help me. Like, not that because my dad would do anything to help me. Like, I am my dad's pride and joy. But it's just, I didn't take it that way. Like, he'll just be like, oh, you're so athletic. Well, I'm like, Dad, I need, like, constructive criticism.
But because you're a girl, you think he couldn't do that, or because you're his daughter?
Well, I mean, so I started in 2012 at FCW, which turned into NXT. Yeah.
So this was like FCW's...
So he didn't see me wrestle until I beat Natty.
He didn't. So FCW is like the minor leagues, essentially. It eventually became NXT, which is now a TV product in its own right.
Which is now the third brand. Yeah.
Right, which is his third brand, but still the developmental territory to some extent. And he hadn't even seen you during that time.
I mean, yes, I lost my brother. He lost his son. But there was no, like, talking about what I was doing. Until when he saw the match that Natty and I had, which had that match... And I tell Natty this all the time, not happened, I don't think anyone would have taken me serious.
Wow.
Now, you almost lost him a few years ago. Did the relationship change at all after that? Could you get closer?
No. My dad and I are best friends.
Right.
I just, when it comes to work, like, him and I just butt heads.
The way
like we're just two alphas.
Right.
Like we just butt heads. Like he's telling stories about me in the back of the bus on a European tour, and I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to get liked here. Like,
right.
Why is he telling Big Show about when she was in 9th grade trying to make the volleyball team, and I'm just trying to fit in.
So Charlotte, I'm wondering, because I have 2 young kids and I'm on the road all the time, and I want to be a part of their life. I want to be an influence on what they become as people. Your dad was always on the road. Was he an involved dad? Was he there at the daddy-daughter dance? Was he able to do that?
Yes. So he was way more active with Reed and I than my older sister and my older brother, because that was the NWA days.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was home, he was making me waffles, smoothies, pancakes for breakfast, driving me to school, bringing me Dean and DeLuca salads for lunch, every game, Gatorade. Not every game, but I mean, he was a full-on like soccer mom. But I played volleyball, gymnastics. I mean, I played a lot of things, but he was there for everything.
That's one of the things that makes your dad so complex. Yeah. That he managed to be, a guy who blew a bunch of marriages and blew a ton of money and made a lot of bad decisions, but also, I sent notes to the guys earlier, but also is like a doting father. Like
Yes.
he's really everything.
No, yes.
And can you believe? Do you ever take? Because guys, in 2017, when it was 2017, right? That he almost passed, or 18, 17, right? I think 6 years ago. I think I just saw he posted the anniversary. He posted some random thing of him wooing 6 years ago. I almost died, but that was. I mean, I remember at that time it was the front page of ESPN. It was everywhere, and I remember thinking, God, I hope Rick pulls out, because he will be so happy at how much people care about this. I mean, the whole world stopped. I was like, he has to see how much people care. How far did it go for you? Did you think you were going to lose him?
We were told to say goodbye. Yeah. But I was like, I don't know how to say goodbye. Like, I can't. No, I can't even think about it.
And now,
well, because like now I'm in the business, and he's the only person in my life that, like, I mean, yes, I'm very close to my brother and my sister, my older brother and sister, but like, out of like me, Reed, and my mom, or me, Reed, my mom, and my dad, like, it's hard to tell family members. Like, I get his life, he gets mine, but it's not even that. It's the position I'm in. He gets the position I'm in.
Right.
He gets the pressure. He gets the stress, being the champion all the time, what comes with it. There's so many similarities.
So you said you've been doing it for over 10 years now. You're the best woman ever to do it.
Thank you.
And that's according to my brother.
Your brother loves me, yes.
So... But have you seen your influence in other women wrestlers? Have you been around long enough to actually run into a female wrestler who says they're doing it because of you?
Well, there is a future star. I mean, she's a star now, but for the big stage, her name is Tiffany Stratton, and she was like, "It's because of you I wanted to become a wrestler." I'm like, hold on, I'm not that old, Tiffany. Please do not say that in interviews.
But she's that young.
But she's that young.
Yeah.
I'm like, calm down. Don't tell people that. But yeah, it like blows my mind to realize that I've had a hard time like enjoying the journey, and I need to I'm just now learning how to enjoy the journey. I've been like go, but yeah, I don't think about it all the time, but like when I got to meet Tiffany one day privately, and we were just talking, and I was just like blown away by the impact I left on her, and it felt like it's really special.
Don't you feel it? Do you feel it in the locker room now, though, even with like Rhea and Bianca? Because like they at least from my vantage point, it seems like the young superstars, and I think in the case of both of those, the name superstar is not just a thing WWE says. It's what they both are.
Yes.
They both clearly have a sort of deference and appreciation for you.
No, they do.
And,
yeah.
and I can
You're
tell,
making me smile.
Well,
yeah.
because if let's just lift the curtain up. The women's locker room has its ups and downs, and you have your own ups and downs and relationships with the girls you worked with. Some best friends turn not best friends, turn all these things. But this new generation that's come up, I can tell that they're there just like, oh my God, Charlotte Flair. And that must feel great.
It does. It does. Yeah.
And it must make for
like
a nice
Rhea,
relationship.
like she didn't even realize what she was doing, but she was like, I know I'm gonna have to bring it. Like meaning when she got in the ring with me, because she knows like every time I go out there, I'm like, we're gonna fight. Like you're gonna have to bring it. Because I'm bringing 100%, you better bring 110%. And like, I don't know if she said it in an interview or said it to me, but it like tickled me a little. I was like, oh, that makes me feel good. Like she knows that I'm gonna make her fight for it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
We're talking with Charlotte Flair. WrestleMania is next April, and pre-sale is today, and the public can buy tickets on Friday. You know, you're talking about matches, Charlotte. It's not like you two just go into the ring and freelance. It's really choreographed. Can you tell us about the work that goes into it?
So I feel like some of the best matches are the ones that have mistakes, and you actually like stray out or like fall off course and have to get back on. Like a perfect example, Rhea and I this past WrestleMania had a move in there where I woke, like for a second I woke up, I'm like, oh, there's my face in the mat. Ow. That wasn't supposed to happen. So I was like, God, I hope she doesn't move. I hope she doesn't move. Let me collect my, like, let me get my breath for a second. And if you go back, it was like one of the best moments of the match was the suplex to my face when it wasn't supposed to be that. And I'm like, had that not happened, we wouldn't have gotten those replays. So like, to me, like, I'm so happy I landed flat on my face. Like it made the match that much better. So I needed it to breathe, and we got to eventually where we were going. But like, yes, they're choreographed, but I think the best ones are when you're listening to the audience, you change whether they're booing or cheering, feeling I'm at that stage now where I'm getting to enjoy that.
Well, so tell us the difference then. Like, walk us through, if you were to have a match versus someone who's on the newer side.
Oh, yeah.
How much, like, let's say you find out on Saturday you have a non-televised event, right?
Yep.
Against a girl who's only been up for a few months, and it's one of the first times you've worked together. How much conversation do you guys have to have before you go out there? And how much do you lead it?
Non-televised?
Yeah.
Non-televised. So I'll give Sonya an example. I'll use Sonya as example. So we got to work a lot together leading up to WrestleMania with Rhea on live events.
Okay.
So I would just say, I'm going to tell you what to do the entire heat. We're not going to plan anything. We're going to go off the crowd.
Explain to people exactly what that means.
So if you watch a match, it's actually that easy. You see the good guy when the match first starts, you typically see the good guy looking really good, beating up the bad guy. Then there is a stage in the match where the bad guy is able to capitalize on the good guy getting hurt, whether it's from cheating, whether the good guy falls and hurts himself, like by slipping on a banana peel, whatever it is, or a distraction from somebody else that's ringside. So then that's when the bad guy takes over the match and starts beating up the good guy. And you really want the good guy throughout this to like eat his spinach and finally get his payback on the bad guy until the end of the match. So obviously with Sonya, we planned the beginning, we planned the ending, but the in between, I would just, I would say, the crowd is starting to cheer, I'm going to fight back, and then I'll say how to shut me back down, so she beats me up again. And
so you're just saying that out loud? You're just kind of, the crowd's loud, so they don't hear you.
And Sonya was like spectacular. Like, she doesn't mind being a bad guy. That helps me as well. And she just listened, and it was money. Like, I really enjoyed that. And obviously, I take being a babyface as a challenge. So I liked working like it actually, if I let myself be a babyface, meaning be vulnerable while the bad guy beats me up, it works.
All right, so if you're in a match with somebody and inadvertently that person really, really hurts you, does it ever turn into a real fight where you really get angry?
Oh, yeah, they get a receipt.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. Rhonda, one time, this made my day too. Shayna said that one day someone asked Rhonda if I hit really hard. And I think she was like, well, if you accidentally hit her really hard, she's going to hit you really hard back.
So even Rhonda?
No, but just using, like, because we're very physical together.
Right.
Like, Rhonda is, when I say she is the baddest woman on the planet, that woman is so tough. Like that Survivor Series match we had, she let me beat the living.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all her. She made that possible. So kudos to her. But when she said that, I was like, oh, she thinks I'm tough.
So you will hit back though. So if you get potatoed,
If I get potatoed, you're gonna get potatoed.
All right, Peter, what's potatoed?
Potatoed is when someone hits you hard.
Okay.
Like when someone they
If
actually
you wake
catch
me
you.
up, I'm gonna wake you up twice as hard. But but it's always safe. No one does that on purpose. It's not. The business isn't that way.
It's a different time.
No one.
Now you were telling me off the air about a charity that you're working with, and
Yes.
I wanted you to tell us about it.
Smile Train.
And I wanted to talk about how you got there because I think it's an interesting part of your story and personality as well. So tell us about Smile Train.
So, for the first time, I was out for a couple months after WrestleMania 37. I'd had a lot of dental problems. My teeth knocked out from wrestling. Long story short, I had to take some time off for that. And my periodontist was telling me how tough these kids were that he has to perform all of these surgeries on. And while I was off, I had been trying to find something that I felt passionate about besides wrestling. And he just so happened to tell me about how strong these kids are when they have to deal with these procedures and what they go through emotionally and physically. And he wasn't telling me, he was just telling me about what he does. And I don't know.
What is he?
So no, he would take on pro bono work for children with cleft palate. So I think he would do a couple of free ones a week.
Okay.
So I was like, but he wasn't telling me to like, it just so happened to be in conversation about what he does. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And that just made me smile. Like it made me go, okay, what if I worked with this organization? Because I can put smiles on people's faces inside of the ring. What can I do outside of the ring that's on my own terms? That's not, I mean, I've worked with Special Olympics, anti-bullying campaigns, Make-A-Wish, all the ones through WWE. But I was like, I really want to do something on my own. And when he told me that, I just was like, oh, I wanted to help these kids. And I also learned through Smile Train, they also have taekwondo classes for the kids to help them with bullying and to help build their confidence, and sports and wrestling helped build mine. So I was like, oh, I love this organization and what they do and what they stand for. And I recently had a show in Mexico City. So when I reached out, I was like, hey, I'm in Mexico City, and they're in over 75 countries. But I just so happened to be near one of their headquarters. So I was like, I'd love to stop by and just say hi to the kids and hug them, give them high fives. And it was just so rewarding, like to be able to give back and do something like that.
Now, Charlotte, I hear that you and I have something in common. We're not really in love with trolls on social media.
I may have been the birdie who mentioned that.
I don't give them life.
Michael does.
I breathe life into them every day. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, he claims he's stopping, but up until yesterday, Michael loves to give them life.
Yeah. I like to go
don't
for
give them life. That's what they want.
Yeah, but I like to fight.
Well, I mean, I do too, but with my fist, not behind a keyboard.
Words are powerful, though, Charlotte. If you could give them good words, you win.
Can you though with trolls? Can you ever win?
Yeah. I don't think so.
You've kind of you've kind of backed away from all of it, right? Like paying attention to it in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's character is. I mean, the way I have to look at it is, I'm always in a conversation, good, bad, or indifferent, so I must be doing something right.
Correct.
Nobody talks about people that don't shine.
Right.
So.
I like that. I like that. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Do you know the best, or remember the best piece of advice your dad gave you?
Yeah, and always know who you are when you walk out of the curtain. Oh, and dress the part.
Which, by the way, is why I loved your thing a couple weeks ago.
The yacht.
They did a thing with Charlotte on a yacht, and it was she just reminded me of your dad, but in a way that it makes more sense now. You being like your dad when you were brand new was kind of unreasonable. It's like, well, why does someone get to be the greatest just because their dad's the greatest? 14 championships later, you know what I mean? 10 years later, influencing a whole generation later, having had your own success, you being this character, I think makes a lot more sense.
It felt natural.
It really
like
was
for the
awesome.
first time. Yeah.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Me too. I was excited when the writer Jen and Ryan Callahan and Bruce Pritchard and all those guys came to me and they were like, "We're going to put you on a yacht." I'm like, "Absolutely."
It is very. Now I want you to make an estimation. A story that I love to tell is that I went to do a bit when I was working with Complex, where me and your dad went watch shopping.
Yep.
And at the time, I just recently got my first watch, and I got mine as a gift for my wife because I can't ever pull the trigger myself. I'm too cheap. And so me and Ric Flair went to go see my boy Greg Una here in the Diamond District, and we're looking at watches, and they're shooting the show, blah, blah, blah. And I had failed to mention to Rick that I, at the time, didn't know what I really wanted to get. And I told my friend Greg, I was like, just bring me whatever, like, older ones you have. Maybe I'll just get, like, a starter, like, an older one. When we're in the middle of shooting, I asked Greg, what year is this watch from? And Rick goes, wait, what do you mean? I went, well, it's like a 1990. Blah, blah. He went, it's used? The look of disgust on Ric Flair's face.
No, he was probably just surprised.
No. Disgusted. He was. I'm going to show you. You're going to love it.
God.
He was like a used watch. So I ask you this.
No, he was probably like, could I get one of those?
Yeah, is that a possibility?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, how many watches do you think your dad's gotten over the years? Because he's always got a pretty fresh one. And I know some are gifts. I know he's got some as gifts.
So this is the Shawn Michael gift that I have.
Oh, that's what Shawn Michaels gave.
This is what Shawn Michaels gave my dad.
And he gave it to you?
When he retired at WrestleMania, they had matching ones.
Wow.
Nice.
Because everyone, like, I guess I don't think about it, but I'll have, like, guys sometimes be like, what's the 24? I'm not 24. But, yeah, WrestleMania 24.
Wow. I did not realize you're wearing your dad's
But I will say,
watch.
He had the, there was a different band on here. It had the classic Jubilee band. But when my dad gifted it to me, he was like, I had to spruce it up.
See, by the way, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, this is really big Rolex talk that you only get from the Rolex wearing Kiss, Steal, and Wheel and Deal and Jet Flying Son of a Gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Charlotte, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
WrestleMania, the tickets, right now you can get the pre-sale, and Friday is WrestleMania 40 tickets. And it's pretty cool that WrestleMania is in Philadelphia for the first time in 25 years. And for New Yorkers, it's kind of amazing. You can just drive down for the weekend.
Yeah, not far.
Super easy. Anyways, thank you for coming by.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much. Hey, this is Michael K here to tell you about my favorite lottery app, Jackpocket.
5, 4, 3.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Trying on glasses using Warby Parker's virtual try-on is so lifelike, so realistic, that you might not even be able to tell what's real from what's virtual. Yep, it's that good. Virtually try on hundreds of styles in the Warby Parker app.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Hi, I'm Sophia, founder of Pair Eyewear. The only glasses you can change, like you change your clothes. Each pair starts with a base frame, then choose from over hundreds of designs and snap on any top to create an infinite number of looks. All of our glasses are anti-glare, scratch resistant, and every pair starts at just $60, including prescription lenses. Glasses are an extension of your personality, and we're here to celebrate each and every version of you. Discover your next pair at paireyewear.com.
Paying down debt can feel overwhelming. but it doesn't have to be. Upstart makes it fast and easy. Borrowers can access the funds they need in as little as one business day. Checking your rate is fast, easy, with no cost to you or your credit score. Loans start at $1,000 and go up to $50,000. Join the club of over 1.8 million customers who have turned to Upstart for a personal loan. Your financial freedom begins at Upstart.com.
This is Lucas.
No, you're cheating? You're cheating, bro.
You could use some focus.
You get good. No, you get good.
To make things go off without a hitch, turn to Alpha Brain. It's not hard to get. I mean, you know how to shop. Get Alpha Brain. Focus where it matters most.
America, come along with our adventure seekers and discover summer with Ford. Join friends Maisa and Leslie on an epic adventure with the capability of the Ford Bronco Sport. Head out with the Stevens family and stay connected with built-in Wi-Fi in the Ford Explorer.
Did you know that horse is sweet standing up?
Road trip with the Sanchez family and available hands-free highway driving in the Ford F-150. And now get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on select Ford vehicles. This is your time to discover summer at your local Ford dealer.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price Domino's pizzas when you order online right now. Right now?
Right now. Right now?
Right now? Right now.
50% off, honey, right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
With Gold Bond, you can age on your own terms. Retinol Overnight means the smoothing benefits of retinol are now for your whole body. Plus, fast-working crepe corrector diminishes wrinkled skin in just 2 days. Gold Bond, champion your skin.
Tommy John has been dedicated to elevating underwear for over a decade. Now, we're proud to reveal our most premium men's underwear yet. This is Apollo. All new, ultra breathable, rigorously tested for durability, and enhanced with exclusive dry release tech. We've upgraded the softness and the level of comfort, so don't be surprised if your confidence is upgraded too. Experience high-end for your rear end at TommyJohn.com and get 20% off your first order.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started. Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org, because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
LeMahieu will play first base and bat first. Batting second, playing second base, Gleyber Torres. Aaron Judge moves down to the 3 spot. He'll be the DH. Batting cleanup is the right fielder, Giancarlo Stanton. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third base will bat 5th. Batting 6th, playing left field, Billy McKinney. Harrison Bader in center will bat 7th. Batting 8th and playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. And Kyle Higashioka is going to catch and bat 9th, and he will be catching the youngster Randy Vasquez. That's tonight's Yankees starting lineup as they play the Braves in Atlanta, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael Key Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. And Corona, enjoy the finer life of sports. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Peter, seems like Charlotte is a very pro, very nice person.
I'm a big fan of Charlotte. She's always been super cool. She's incredibly talented. She's authentic. She kind of wears her her heart on her sleeve, which is one of the things I appreciate about her. You can tell that she's a real person. There's a lot of documentaries about her, and she's kind of open about the things that are hard for her and the challenges for her, and she just doesn't have a big filter. She's very, very cool.
Well, I'm glad that we could have her again. Tickets go on sale on Friday. 1-800-919-3776. And let's go to Anthony in D.C.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Anthony.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Listen, last week you said with absolute passion, the Yankees are better than the Red Sox. The Yankees are better than the Blue Jays. Do you still feel it?
No, I don't, because they don't have any starting pitching. So, of course, I don't feel like that, Anthony. It's not the same team that I said that about.
But you only said it last week when the Yankees were in last place, and the Red Sox had already beaten the Yankees 5 out of 6 times.
Yeah, and that was before Nestor Cortez went down, and it was before they lost Rodon, and before Herman. So, yeah, I mean, I still think if they had their pitching, they'd be better. Right now, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed, Anthony, to find any team that they're better than. I mean, they're better than the Royals, and they're better than the A's. But after that, I mean, are we really going to say, well, they're way better than the Tigers or they're way better than the White Sox? The way they're presently constructed, they can lose to anybody.
But are we saying they're in the situation they're in because of injuries?
I think that if they didn't have the injuries, they wouldn't be in last place. I don't know if they'd be in great shape, because I know what you're going to say. Over the last 220 games, they're a 500 team. Okay, you got me. But I think they're better than this.
Well, I don't think anybody, when they constructed this team, even the Cashman haters and the Yankee fans who didn't believe that they were any good, thought they'd be a 500 team in the second half of August. But one of the reasons they're in the situation they're in is because you get pitchers that have had injuries or a history of injuries that have become a bit of a problem. I mean, everybody goes through injuries. The Astros have had a ton of injuries this year, so have the Red Sox.
Yep.
So I know that they really hammered home the reason they got swept against the Astros, because you didn't have LeMahieu and there were other guys banged up, and certainly the injury to Judge did not help. But I don't think Yankee fans want to hear that at the end of the season. Oh, we would have been into the playoffs. Just look at the injuries.
No, this team has to be redone.
Yeah, and the reason I say that too, Michael, and I mentioned it earlier in the show, there were times under Girardi and even early under Boone, they were devastated by injuries and still called up guys. That's where you saw, Urshela come up and become a star player. And how many big hits did Ford have for them? Was it a couple of years ago or even last year? They'd always have somebody they'd be able to maintain. It seemed feasible when Judge went down that they could keep their head above water. And the reason they didn't, Michael, is because Rizzo went south. Now, I guess it was because of the concussions, but they deserve a lot of criticism for that, too. The fact that you weren't on, Michael, when that news came down, the fact that they're reviewing at bats where he's missing balls by a foot because he couldn't see it, wasn't that a symptom? Like, could they have done more for Rizzo? And didn't they play him 2 more games against the Rays after he went to them and said that he felt fuzzy? So there's been a lot of things that have been mishandled, even with the injuries, that, and quite frankly, have been very Met-like. Right? I mean, the handling of the Judge concussion was eerily similar to the criticism the Mets got for Ryan Church.
The Rizzo construction.
The Rizzo concussion was eerily similar to the Ryan Church.
Yeah, it's weird, though. I mean, it's kind of indefensible, but I did listen. Although I was off, I listened to what Cashman said that day in the press conference. Rizzo never told them. I've come on the air a million times. You've been here, Don, when I said it. I was told by people high up that Rizzo's never been better physically. Like the back wasn't hurting him. He felt 1,000%. He never told them he felt foggy. He never told them that it felt like he was waking up and, he was hungover and he had not had a drink. It's hard to diagnose it if a guy's not telling you anything. So I think there's a lot of people at fault there. I don't think it's just the Yankees where he said, I don't feel well, and they ignored it. He never told them anything.
Although there was a report, I wish I knew. I don't know if it was Brian Hulk. I don't want to put it on him if it wasn't him. That somebody had reported, right, Peter, that he had said that he was foggy and yet still played 2 more games after that. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I speculated that when a guy, Michael, we were saying this must be something up with his neck. I mean, he just couldn't hit anymore. Should that have been looked upon as a symptom? Like you hit your head against Tatis's knee, and then you couldn't hit the ball, couldn't see the ball. He said he was looking at video, and he was like a foot off on the pitches that were. Should that have been diagnosed as a symptom for what was going on? I mean, whatever it was, Michael, they went in the tank after Judge went down. I think it would be a falsehood to completely blame everything and every situation they're in on the injuries.
All right, but let's play this game since you brought it up. I wasn't going to go there. If Judge doesn't get hurt, you think they're in this situation? As poorly constructed as they are, and listen, I've said from the beginning, no left fielder. Starting off a season with no left field doesn't make sense. Putting all your eggs in the Josh Donaldson basket now in retrospect makes so little sense. There's a lot of holes on this roster. If Judge doesn't get hurt, because he was on pace again for a 60 home run season, you think they're where they are. You think they go into that tailspin without Judge.
They might have a few more wins, Michael.
I think they'd have a lot more. I don't think they'd be in first place.
But wait a minute. He's been back. And they just don't pitch to him because nobody else hits.
I mean, but he's been back, and Rizzo's non-existent.
Right. So Rizzo still would have been non-existent.
Yeah, why would that have mattered then?
Right? So Rizzo still would have went into the tank. I mean, you still had guys that DJ still wouldn't be hitting. Would they be pitching to him? Now, I'd say they give him a few more wins because at times you would have to pitch to him. But why would it be any different than what you've seen over the last 2-3 weeks that he's been back? He's basically a lock for 2 to 3 walks a game because nobody else is hitting. Now, would they have been hitting if he had never gotten hurt? The Rizzo thing still would have happened. DJ's been in a slump since last August.
Well,
so I don't know how much different it would have been.
DJ's hitting over 300 since the beginning of July, so he's starting to come around a little bit. But I think one of the culprits in this, too, is Stanton. Stanton doesn't hit.
Right.
Stanton doesn't hit, doesn't play. I mean,
right.
So he has some home runs, but he's hitting 200.
So would they have run into a few more wins because Judge is so great and they eventually would have to pitch to him? But and again, I don't even think Judge is 100%, Michael. They're just not pitching to him.
Oh, they're not pitching to him. I think since he came back, he has 21 walks, more than anybody.
So you don't think that would have probably been happening sooner than later had he not gotten hurt? That if
there's so many layers in the onion, right? So if he doesn't get hurt and they don't collapse the way they did, maybe the trade deadline is different. Again, we can't see what could have been, but I think that the injury to Judge is huge, and the 2.5 months of non-production, worst player in baseball production by Anthony Rizzo was gigantic.
Yeah. But we're also kind of forgetting. Yes, you're right, Michael. I don't know they would have gone into the tailspin that they've gone into. But with everybody, like with Aaron Judge healthy and hitting historic home runs, they were basically a 500 team in the second half of the season.
Right, but now they're not that, Don. Since Aaron Judge went down, they were 11 games over, so they're 11 games under. Without him.
I think if Judge never got hurt, Michael, I think they would probably be in the third wild card position.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think they'd be second.
And they might be teetering and still not making the playoffs because it might be ahead of the Blue Jays by a game or whatever, where the games would have a lot more meaning, but there's still the possibility they don't make the playoffs. Because that conversation we had with Hal Steinbrenner about he's going to have to ask tough questions if this team misses the playoffs. It was on the table while Judge was healthy. That was when Judge was healthy when we had him on. So it wasn't all what I believe it was because he said.
Didn't we have Hal on like a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
So I think Judge was hurt.
Right. But still, nobody thought they were going to miss the playoffs.
Nope, they didn't. Because you know what? You said something really, really smart earlier. They've always been the next man up team. I mean, you used to yell at me when somebody would go down. I said, well, this is going to hurt. And you said, no, it never hurts. Well, it's hurt this year. It's come down.
Right.
The house of cards crumbled.
Right. It finally just kind of came to a head with them. But I'm just hesitant because I had somebody text me a couple of days ago. It's like, you're really going to fire people off of one bad season? Is it deeper than just one bad things went off the rails season, or does this date back even deeper than that? To the middle of last year, the second half of last year, to this team's inability to hit in the postseason when they were great in the regular season.
You know, I don't even care if I'm called Yankee boy. Their collapse in the middle of last year happened when DJ LeMahieu got hurt, where he just couldn't hit anymore. That was a big factor. And then in the postseason, no LeMahieu, no Benintendi, and they tried to rush back Carpenter, who also got hurt. He was carrying the team. Now, they shouldn't be applauded for that because that was not their plan for Matt Carpenter to be the second best player after Judge. But Matt Carpenter was. Then he hurt his foot, and boom, he's out for 2.5 months. And then they try to rush him back without any kind of rehab. So I think they were better than a 500 team, and I think that's why they fooled themselves into thinking we don't have to make major changes. Let's go sign Rodon. DJ LeMahieu is going to be better. We like Rizzo. He's not going to. They couldn't foresee he's going to have a concussion. I think they thought they were going to be a lot better, but now I think they see the flaw in that.
This, just being honest, this does sound sort of like excuse making, though.
Well, I don't give a crap what it sounds like. I'm telling you the reasons why it's happening. If you people want to say they're making excuses, I don't care anymore. I'm telling you the truth here. If you think it's making excuses, good, go crap in a lake. Okay. I don't care.
What's the point of the truth? They got it wrong. They always get it wrong.
No, that's ridiculous. They always get it wrong.
That is, over the last few years, they've gotten it wrong.
Really? They went to the ALCS last year. They really got it so wrong. They won the American League East. They won the American League East, the toughest division in baseball. They won 99 games. They always get it wrong.
Wait, so you want fans to be happy that they got embarrassed by their arch rival?
I'm not telling fans what to do. You can feel whichever way you want. I'm just telling you, you can't say they got it wrong when they were one of the Final Four teams standing.
Wait, but I can't say they got it wrong if the best thing they could achieve in the last 3 years was getting swept by their arch rival. Well, that's getting it wrong.
That's your definition of wrong. Now, the Mets got it wrong this year, and the Yankees got it wrong this year.
The Mets punted. The Mets all out straight up said, we got it wrong. We're punting. The Yankees are refusing to do so when they should.
All Peter's doing, Michael, is just backing up the words that they said. What did Judge call last year? He called it a failure that they lost to the Astros.
I get it. I get it, but you can't say they always get it wrong, like they're a bumbling organization that can't get out of its own way and doesn't make the postseason. That's stupid. You sound like a fan.
No, wait, there's a different thing between bumbling and can't get out of their own way.
Well, but you can't say they can't get out of their own way.
They keep believing they should run it back, and they're wrong.
But I just told you why they would think that they should run it back. I'm not saying I'm defending it, but that's why they thought it.
But whether you think it's the right idea or not, what is the end result? If it's wrong, it's wrong. That's what fans are upset about.
I'm not denying it's wrong this year. They're terrible this year. I don't know how many different ways I could say it. They have been absolutely putrid. Okay? I said it. But don't say that last year was so wrong when they won the American League East title.
Do you think it was good for them to run it back if Carpenter was in fact their second best player? Is that what you think is a plausible attempt at really making a go of this thing?
I've said that they ran it back kind of halfway because they don't have a left fielder. They never re-signed Benintendi, who's having a bad year with the White Sox anyway. They came in thinking that two backup catchers, one of them is an everyday catcher. It's not. It's not. Jose Trevino is a great defensive catcher. Is he your everyday catcher? Probably not. The third base, Josh Donaldson, I've said it over and over. I don't know what people want to do. They want a bloodletting? It is Brian Cashman's worst deal ever, getting Josh Donaldson and taking on that salary. Terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And right behind it is getting Giancarlo Stanton. But still, they made the American League Championship Series last year. I don't know how that's bumbling and getting it wrong all the time. I wish that I could do so many bad things and still be one of the top 4 teams in the sport.
But this is their messaging. Finishing top 4 for this organization and this fan base is failure. And, by the way, yes, they did finish 4th last year, but I maintain this. They got off the hook with how fans even handled that exit. That exit was a disgrace. You could get there all you want. You don't hang your hat on getting swept by your arch rivals and not even ever being in the series. I'm sorry.
They didn't hang their hat on it, but they said, you know what, we'll get better. We'll get a great pitcher. And Carlos Rodon, again, that doesn't look great because he's hurt.
Right, so it was wrong.
Well, you really going to say a 6-year contract's wrong after, like, 4 months? Is that what you're saying?
No, this year it was wrong. And it's another year where there's a piece that's wrong. And that may not be Cashman's fault. Maybe that is the analytics department. Maybe that is the medical staff.
No. If it's the analytics department, then it's Cashman. He hired them.
Well,
he can't escape from that. It's his department.
Well, fair enough. One of those departments got it wrong. All right, we need to break.
Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life just to lose weight?
No.
NJ Diet's typical results are twice as fast as weight loss injection.
We just shipped our millionth monthly coffee subscription box. We're sending custom thank you gifts to everyone on our team who helped us get there. I had to call Eric at Custom Ink. Custom Ink has been with us from the beginning, and he makes sure that we get everything we need and even reminds us of our own company milestones. This milestone, though, I get to tell him about. He is every bit as excited as we are and knows great quality products we can customize and send for the gifts. Celebrate all your milestones with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
People said I was crazy to do this. Just a surf coach who wanted to shake up the sunglass industry. I wanted something different, radical, and fun. I didn't want to blend in, so I created Blenders. Born on the beach in San Diego, now rocked with pride worldwide. We're bright, we're bold, at a price that everyone can afford. Don't blend in. Welcome to your new favorite shades.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned, with even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. More color, more luggage, more travel. Shop at awaytravel.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
This is Alpha Brain. If your gym workouts lack focus, Alpha Brain is there for support. Look, it's not hard to get, all right? You know how to shop. If you've got a lot going on or need to think clearly, get Alpha Brain by Onnit. Get focused now.
What can you get for 10 cents? How about a pocket full of cash to spend on a tropical vacation, sports car, you name it? Because with jackpots on DraftKings Casino, you could turn 10 cents into tens of thousands, even over $1 million, on roulette, slots, blackjack, baccarat, and more. Jackpot winnings are at 10 million and counting this year, and the next could hit any second. So score the latest jackpots offer when you get the #1 most downloaded online casino app. DraftKings Casino. Go where the jackpots grow.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly. Ding dong, Drizzly.
Ooh, there's only 2 chairs left. You better hurry.
The power to get there in no time? That's what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine. Not today, brother.
Go, 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 go.
You got this.
Mom?
You snooze, you lose.
C'est la vie, as I always say. Dad, you've never said that before.
Never. The BMW Electric Summer On Sales event is on now. Lease the 2024 BMW iX Drive 50 for $799 per month now through September 4th.
Judge, see ya!
Tonight, catch the Bronx Bombers.
Live, only on Prime. And the Yankees win!
Tonight, Yankees, Braves. Coverage begins at 6:30.
Let's let Sam know about something even more urgent than his morning coffee.
Hey Sam, did you know it's kitten season? Right now, thousands of kittens are in shelters across the nation, and they're in need of love and care. If you foster a kitten, even for a week, you'll be giving them the chance to grow up and find families of their very own. What's in it for you? You'll get to start your day with a smile, and your social posts will be way cuter too. Save some tiny lives today. Visit bestfriends.org/kittens.
At Jones Beach Theater on Wednesday, August 30th, be caller number 8 right now at 888-987-ESPN, and you'll score a pair of tickets to the show at Jones Beach. It's all from Live Nation. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For full contest rules, go to ESPNNewYork.com. Let's go to Dave in Brooklyn. Dave.
Hey, boys. Thanks for taking my call. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Got a couple quick questions. First one's for Mike. Obviously you've been the play-by-play guy for quite a while, and I know you're grateful for your job, but has it been stinking, going to work each day, knowing the Yankees are going to get their butts kicked? I mean, I can't imagine it being fun to be the play-by-play guy for the A's, for the Pirates. So definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. And after you answer that question, time to move on. Let's move on to the Giants. Let's move on to the Jets. The Yankees are done. It's toast. It's over. See you next season.
All right. Well, Jordan Ronon's going to come on and talk Giants at 5 o'clock. And in answer to your other question, no, it's not tough at all. I mean, I broadcast Major League Baseball games for a living. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, and you know what? I was talking to somebody today about it. What you do is you don't go on the air and do broad strokes constantly. Don't say, the situation that's happening. Everybody knows the situation that's happening. Broadcast a game. Each game is the most important game that you're ever going to do.
Let's not forget, guys, that the sport's supposed to be fun, right? We all got into this because we just love watching sports. So it's never hard to go to work. I've called a million meaningless Ranger games, but when the game starts, it's still a game. It's fun to call. It's fun to do. Everybody gets caught up in the game. Does it have meaning? Are we going to win a championship? People still go. I mean, I still watch Met games, Michael, and the fans are still cheering when something is good. Because it's
just take the game alone as a freestanding game.
Yeah, it can't always be about a championship. Now, for the Yankees, you've been very fortunate. It usually is about a championship, and it's sometimes painful that your team is not going to win. But maybe it's easier for me, Michael, and for you, too. You fell in love with the Yankees when they were awful. I fell in love with the Mets. I was cutting out the articles and putting them on the Cray paper or whatever, the paper that, the construction paper. Yeah. For the Tory-led Mets, they were losing like 100 games because I just loved baseball. That was my favorite team. Now it's all about the championship or nothing, but when the first pitch is thrown, Michael, it's a baseball game. It's fun to be at a game. It's fun to call a game. And they still have meaning. Well, even though I don't think they're going anywhere, and there's still the potential. This was a season in which Herman pitched a perfect game. Who knows? Maybe tonight Judge hits 3-4 home runs. It seems crazy, but every time you open the mic, Michael, I still think you would have a ball calling a game.
I remember that highlight of the season when the player threw a perfect game, and that player is now currently not on the roster and probably will never be again. It's unfortunate.
It was just. And also, what kind of ingrate would I be that I got the job in '92, and starting in '93 they've had nothing but winning seasons. And I got a chance to call 5 World Series. So, I mean, okay, if this is a bad year, this is a bad year.
Yeah, if they hover around 500 for one season, oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm good. No, I enjoy going to work every day. Now, I'll be honest with you, this show's not fun when they're losing the way they were losing. Because it's the same thing. And then when I try to answer, I've got ridiculous co-hosts who say, you're just making excuses.
Well, I mean, I'm speaking for the people, Michael. I'm speaking for the people.
He's allowed to have his opinion,
Okay,
Michael.
he's allowed to have his opinion, but I'm not.
No, you are.
So I'm making excuses. When I give you what's going on, then I'm making excuses rather than telling you why it's going on.
But you realize the difference between why and excuse is so negligible, I can't even see it.
You can see it. You're pretty bright. You know exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving the reasons why it's happening.
But
I'm not co-signing it and saying it's cool.
I'm going to be that guy.
Go ahead.
All right? Don't get mad at me. And if you want to leave, we'll switch another show. I'll find another work, all right? Another way of making money. No one wants to hear what the Yankees are thinking. They want to hear your opinion. So don't explain what the Yankees are thinking. No one cares.
But people are asking me why this happened, Don, so I do give my opinion. I came on the show yesterday and said they're not going to win games. They're terrible. That's an opinion. So then I'm also on here to tell you why they're terrible, why this has happened, how this occurred. So I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut? No, this isn't just about opinion. This is about telling you things that I know.
But don't you think then the perfect way this should work is, because I think that makes sense, and just to be fair, both Don and I understand your situation in being critical and being the voice of the Yankees. It's complicated. We totally get it. But don't you think it then makes sense that you give me the explanation and I, representing the fans, argue back as to why that's garbage? That's what the whole thing is.
The explanation's not garbage.
Well,
you said it sounds like an excuse. I'm giving you the explanation on what they were thinking. I'm not saying that was the right thing.
Well, I guess
with
that's
this
the point.
Is I've said
but what they were thinking is irrelevant.
That they were poorly constructed.
I know.
What more do you want me to say?
But you were saying trying to give the insight of what they were thinking is irrelevant.
Right. It's because the only thing that's relevant to the fans is that they got it wrong.
Well, then I'm trying to teach them what should be relevant in their life.
Nobody wants to be
I don't think it should be.
But you know what? They should know why things are happening. Whether they agree with it, that's up to them. And they don't agree with it.
But what's the net change? They still want Cashman's head, no matter how you look at it.
I should not say a word for the rest of the year, right? I shouldn't even say. You guys handle the Yankee calls then. I'll do the Mets, the Giants, the Jets, the Knicks, and the Nets.
You're being a
all right? Is that what you want me to do?
I think we should do exactly what we just did. You say what you say, I argue back, and that's it. People are getting everything then. That's what we do.
Great. Michael K. here for Amazon Hub Delivery. Amazon Hub Delivery.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
5, 4, 3.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
You've heard our story before. In some ways, it's yours. It's the one about rolled up sleeves, measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. They're the reason we make boots that feel as good at 6 p.m. as they did at 6 a.m. They're the best you've ever worked in, or we'll take them back. Brunt, the tools you wear. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
Hi, my name's Ian. I'm a musician, a singer, a content creator, and I'm also a dasher. Dashing gives me the freedom and flexibility I need to earn money while still pursuing my dream of being a professional musician. I can go earn money whenever I want and cash out as soon as I'm done dashing. Download the DoorDash Dasher app today. Get started on your goals.
Alpha Brain helps support your focus at moments with countless tasks and preparation to make things go off without a hitch. Turn to Alpha Brain. It's not hard to get. Alpha Brain, Focus where it matters most.
Now.com.
Okay. One dad. Just go into the house. One mom. 3 kids. 1 pack of Ben's original jasmine rice. 1 pinch of chaos. We're all original recipes.
Taste is not an option. Taste is everything. 1800, the world's most awarded tequila.
The Volkswagen Taos, German engineering everyone can get into. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on the new 2023 Taos or Tiguan.
The training camp update brought to you by Jack Pocket. And we bring in the guy who covers the Giants for us, Jordan Raanan. He's nice enough to spend a couple of minutes here on the show. Jordan, it's Michael, Don, and Peter. Hope you're doing well.
I am. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, all 3 of you. It's a treat for me here.
Yeah, it is a streak. Here we go. So we had on Dan Orlovsky yesterday, and, you know, there seem to be different schools of thought that, you know, the Giants last year, they won a lot of really close games. It's not going to happen this year. They might take a step back. Dan Orlovsky said he felt that they have closed in on the Cowboys. They're still behind the Eagles, but he thinks they are a playoff team. From what you've seen so far in training camp, do you agree with him or disagree?
I'll say this, though. This is my 10th training camp covering the Giants. This is probably the best the offense has looked since I've been there. Now, granted, the bar is not that high, right?
Right.
Because, so 2015, right? Remember, so I came in 2013. 2014, McAdoo arrives, okay? So, you know, it's Eli's switching offenses for the first time in his career. That offense that summer looked like a mess. And then in 2015, they were better. 2016 started to go downhill, and they never really tracked. But as a whole, like, this offense looks solid. Like, the one question mark you have is that offensive line. But you look at the weapons and you say, okay, you know, look at the wide receivers. Okay, they're not great, but Paris Campbell is a, you know, proven pro. Isaiah Hodgins showed something last year. You have Darius Slayton, who every year finishes with 700 yards. And then you add in our number 1 receiver in Darren Waller. And this dude, man, he just looks different. He's just like a head above everybody else in regards to, you know, his size and just athletic ability. He went yesterday and just plucked the ball off the head of Adoree Jackson. You're like, wow. And Wink Martindale came over to Adoree and was like, hey, you know, nothing you could do there. That was great coverage. Like, and that's what he brings to the table. So I think they do have that. The question I have, the biggest question is, if they have injuries, I'm not sure they have the depth to survive. So, like, if they stay healthy, I think if they can't and they lose some key players, that's when this team will be in trouble.
See, for me, Jordan, I want to see the quarterback take the next step. Because if he does that, then everything else can kind of fall into place. It's a quarterback-driven league, and they can't get by like they did last year. So have you seen, with a second time with this coaching staff, as you said, with the weapons, that you're seeing a much better Daniel Jones to where he can crack the top 10 as a quarterback in this league during the length of this contract?
I mean, all I could judge right now is off what you've seen this summer, and what you've seen this summer is a much better Daniel Jones, right? I mean, much more decisive this year at this time. He looks confident. I have him track the entire training camp from the start till now. I think today was practice 15 with 2 interceptions. I mean, literally when that year when I talked about when McAdoo took over and Eli was running a new offense, this is the guy who had won 2 Super Bowls at that point. Like, he was throwing 2 interceptions a day. Like, Daniel Jones last year was throwing interceptions every day. I mean, 2 interceptions the whole summer. That's impressive. I mean, he has looked as good as I've seen him. And when you say he has to take a big step, Tom, I tell you, didn't he take a big step last year? Like, didn't he do that? I mean, he finished in the top 10 in QBR, which is a stat that I generally think is fairly reflective of how guys play.
Well, but no, because you know why? I don't want to see last year's Daniel Jones over the next 4 years. Like, I think they did it with smoke and mirrors, a lot with his legs. As you said, he didn't have any weapons, not a lot of throws downfield. So I was very happy with the way he performed.
A little bit. I think you're ignoring a little bit. If you go back and watch those games, there was a lot of comebacks. He had, I think it was second and fourth quarter comeback late in games. You don't run the ball and come back late in games. No, you throw the ball. He made a lot of big plays late in games in that first half of that season and actually played better in the second half. And I know the numbers when we look back and we say, well, they ran the ball a lot and the 15 touchdowns. But he really did play well. Like, I think if he plays that same level he did last year with better talent around him, you have a top 10 quarterback.
I guess what I'm saying, Jordan, is I need a guy that is going to be efficient throwing the ball 25, 28 times a game as opposed to 15, 17 times a game. Like, I know that there were moments he was good. Because the concern, Peter, we had the concern too. All right, if you're going to throw more, well, then he might get sacked more, get hurt more, and throw more interceptions. That's why I think it's a great news that he's not throwing picks in camp.
Absolutely.
But I want to be able to see him be as efficient and more active downfield, and that's what I'm going to be looking for this year.
Yeah, well, when you add Paris Campbell, who ran a 4.3-something in the 40, you add Jalen Hyatt, you add Darren Waller, it's pretty clear what the plan is here, right? And let's be honest, they didn't really want to invest in the running back long term. Where is this offense headed, right? Let's follow the clues. The offense is headed to being a more explosive, throw it downfield offense. Think about what Brian Daboll was before he came to the Giants in Buffalo. He didn't even want to run the ball at all. So we're going to find out pretty quickly whether Daniel Jones can be that guy that is not just you're winning with him, that you're winning because of him.
Right. So I guess the question is how good will Hyatt be, right? Because, I mean, I know Waller's a really solid player when he's been healthy. I don't think, as good as he is at tight end, I don't think it's signing Jerry Rice in his prime. Isn't Hyatt a major piece of this as well?
He is. I mean, he adds a different element. That speed, I'm telling you, is special. He's running. Dory Jackson compared his stride, not him running like overall, to Usain Bolt in that it looks so easy. Like, he has like that big long stride. You know how like when people run and they don't look like they're running that hard?
Yep.
And they just kind of glide and their strides are huge? That's Jalen Hyatt. And you realize, holy cow, nobody can run with this guy once he gets going. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a transition, Peter. So, like, I think he'll be a useful player this year. But he is very thin, right? He needs to add some muscle going forward. He hadn't run a full route tree at Tennessee. So there are things that they're going to use him in certain spots. Is he going to hit big plays for them? Yes. Is that going to be a good addition to the offense? Absolutely. Is he going to be a guy who's going to evolve into their number one receiver this year? I'm sure they hope he does. I would be surprised if that happens.
Talking with Jordan Raanan, covers the Giants for us here at ESPN. Jordan, have you seen any resentment by Saquon Barkley that's going to crop up because of having to accept the franchise tag?
Let me tell you this about Saquon. It's like a non-factor in camp, which is amazing considering where we were. Like a day before they showed up. It was to the point where it's like barely even talked about. He's just there, and he looks great, by the way. He's healthy now. And when he's healthy, he's a great player. We know that, right? I think we went 9 or 10 practices in a row where nobody even asked about Saquon Barkley. Like, that's how much it's kind of flown under the radar here. And he's just gone about his business and done his work. And everyone that when you do ask him about him says, normal Saquon. So, look, deep down, I know he doesn't like how this played out. I know he is not thrilled with the team and that they weren't willing to pay him what he thought he was worth. But he's put it aside and come to work, which is, pretty admirable because I'm pretty sure that even the Giants and Joe Shane did not think that they were going to have Saquon Barkley here for most of training camp, and he decided to show up, and they were like, "Oh, this is great. This is like a double win for us, right?" I mean, we didn't give out the huge long-term deal that we were kind of protecting against, and he's coming to camp day one, and we don't have this hanging over our head, and that's a big thing for this organization.
A fun thing last year for me, Jordan, just seeing Thibodeau grow into the force that they hope he can actually be. Have you seen that growth continue through camp?
You see it in spurts, Don. Like, you don't look out at the field at practice every day and say, "Oh, look, he's just like," when you see a dominant player, you know it right away, right? You could tell. Like, I remember when Odell came, you're just like, oh, my God, what is this guy's playing at a different level than everyone else? You don't get that vibe with Kayvon every day. Now, is he a good player already? Yeah, he is. I think his floor is like, good player, like not even average. You're talking about good player. But Wing Martindale said yesterday that, before one of the Lions joint practices last week, he brought Kayvon to the front of the room. He has this, session, this meeting every week. It's called Keep It Real, where they he keeps it real with guys. And he basically was saying that he needs to see it from Kayvon every day, right? Like that sort of seems to be the insinuation, that he wants to see him get to that level. Like he thinks he's a Pro Bowl player, but he's got to do it every day in practice. So I think the Giants are trying to get there with him. I'm not sure we're there yet, but he certainly, look, they have two guys. I think there's people in the building that think Azeez Ojulari is perhaps the better actual natural pass rusher. So they have two guys that they're hoping that can become threat in regards to the pass rush, because that's what this team really needs, right? They need that big pass rusher. That's what this organization has long been built on, is the pass. And they're going to need one of those two guys. And they're going to have a young secondary. So that how do you protect the young secondary? You have a great pass rush.
All right, so this is a out of left field question. So Rob Gronkowski was on with Kay Adams today. I guess you know where I'm going. And she said, is there a coach out there that would make you think about coming out of retirement? He said, I'm not coming out of retirement, but if there's one guy that would make me think about it, it's Brian Daboll. Would that ever be a possibility?
That was his tight ends coach with the Patriots, if you think back and remember. So, no, I don't think so. Like, they would need to have a bunch of injuries. Like, right, they have Darren Waller right now. Like, sure, if Darren Waller gets injured and the Giants are short again, then maybe they would go that route. But I don't know. I don't see it right now being something that the Giants would do. They have Waller and Daniel Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger was a promising fifth-round rookie last year, so I don't see how it really makes a lot of sense right now. So I'm going to say no to that.
Although, I mean, the Patriots did use Gronkowski and Hernandez, so you can have two great tight ends.
Yeah, but are we really talking about that Gronkowski at this point?
Probably not.
I mean, he had all those injuries. He was banged up. So he could probably still be a useful player, but he's not like a real high-end player probably at this point in his career.
Gotcha.
We always debate about, do you have to make the playoffs for it to be a successful season? Because I still think they're in the rebuild. Do you see there could be a market improvement in this team and still not make the playoffs because of how tough the division is and the schedule?
Yeah, I'm in that group with everybody, too. I can see that because, like I mentioned before, they're not very deep. Here's what you have to say about Joe Schoen, and this is from talking to him, knowing him. Like, he's very realistic about what this team is, okay? So last year, he knows the roster wasn't very good. Like, they overachieved. I talked to tons of people in the building. Even they all know, like, we didn't have a very good roster last year. Like, we had a great season, but the roster wasn't great. So, like, let's say they had a 6-win roster, technically. Mm-hmm. They overachieved, and they won a couple close games, and everything worked in their direction, and they have really good coach. Now, if they're continuing that progression this year, like if you win 8 or 9 games, you're still kind of heading in the right direction, even if you don't necessarily make the playoffs. They play a much harder schedule. Right. They have games at Buffalo, at San Francisco, both in prime time. Like, how many teams are winning? Nobody, right? Like, this is a much harder schedule playing the AFC East instead of the AFC South, which, by the way, they swept. So I do think it's realistic. Look, would it be disappointing if they didn't make the playoffs after last year? I think, yes, you could say it would be a disappointing season. Would it be a failure of the season if this team goes 8-9? I don't think I would say yes to that, because I still think they're trending in the right direction, even though it's less wins than last year. But I could see them doing that and not being just totally distraught over, oh, this team is in a terrible spot. No, Joe Schoen is very realistic that they're not there yet. That's why they didn't just run and say we need to sign Saquon no matter what, because he knows where this team is. They're still not championship talent contender yet. There's another year till they feel that they can get there.
Right.
And I think that's fair, right? I mean, Do any of you think they're a championship caliber team even this year?
That's what I was going to say.
So what's a step forward? What's the step forward with without kind of like either staying the same or going back at this point?
I mean, no, I think a step forward, Jordan, honestly, would be if they ended up in the same place, got some lucky breaks and ended up getting into the playoffs and then got another favorable matchup and then played the Eagles again and were actually able to play with the Eagles. To me, that would be a step in the right direction. That's what you're looking for. Are they capable of being a team that could really, even on some level, compete with the Eagles? Because the truth is, for the next couple of years, Jordan, it feels like the Eagles are really going to run roughshod over this division and be a factor in the NFC. Can you play with them or not? Because if you can't, you're going to have a tough time ever taking that step.
I'll take it even further. It's not just the Eagles. They've just gotten beaten up year over year by the Eagles and the Cowboys. They have to be these teams sometimes. They can't just get swept by those. If they get swept by those two teams and win 8 games, I think you could call it a failure. Like that to me would be a failure, even with 8 wins, because that just shows you they really haven't gained ground on those two teams, which happen to be in their division. And by the way, those two teams roster-wise are really good. It's a tough spot the Giants are in right now, to be honest.
Well, Jordan, we thank you for coming on. As always, good stuff on the Giants, and we'll check in with you a lot.
You got it, guys. Look forward to it.
All right, that's the training camp update brought to you by Jack Pocket. Powerball, $236 million. Mega Millions is $20 million. Play official state lottery games on your phone with Jack Pocket. Download the Jack Pocket app. Get your first ticket free using code ESPN. You have to be 18 or older, of course. And if you have a gambling problem in New York, call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER. See jackpocket.com/TOS for terms. Now, that's the Giants. Today, Jets had a pretty bad practice. They're playing against the Bucs. Guidry is out, might be out for the rest of the year, has surgery, probably is going to be out for the rest of the year, so that's a big blow. And Rodgers had no time. Guys, if you want to point to something that could go wrong with the Jets, it's their offensive line. And we saw it on Hard Knocks yesterday. That's something that Saleh kept hammering home. If that offensive line is not good, I don't care that they have Dalvin Cook, who signed officially today. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about the weapons on the outside. If he doesn't have time to throw, they're not going to be able to exercise that offense.
Well, that's what Saleh said, right? It doesn't matter how many Pro Bowls, wide receivers we have and a Hall of Fame quarterback. If the offensive line doesn't work, then this offense isn't going to work. And then it becomes basically what happened last year, where you're asking your defense to go out there and win you games. And more important, Michael, trying to keep a 40-year-old quarterback healthy. All you need is one missed tackle or one missed block, and Zach Wilson's your starting quarterback.
Which is still incomprehensible to me, that they've decided to build a Jaguar, and they have, a kid from down the block driving it. If the guy who really is supposed to drive it goes down, well, why would you do that? Again, I'm not saying get rid of Wilson. Have a real legitimate second-string quarterback. Let Wilson be the third. What are you doing? It makes no sense.
I guess there's still time. If you find the right quarterback that knows the system that can jump in there. But right now, it kind of looks like, that's exactly what it is.
It's so dumb. It doesn't make sense. Let's go to David in Pennsylvania. David.
Hey, guys. Peter, I got a Jets point, but I want to ask Peter something real quick because he seems to have his eye on the pop culture. I'm wondering what he thinks about this. Michael Kay producing a motion picture. He goes to his nightstand, grabs a couple $1 million, calls Spike Lee to direct, and this is starring Don LaGreca as a kickboxer who goes after that jackass Ralph from yesterday who called him a little boy. What do you think?
I love that idea. Maybe we could get the Kickboxer IP. So it's like a continuation, Don, of the old Kickboxer movies.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just the story never ends. It just gets better.
No, it end because it end with
Ralph dying,
Ralph passing on.
Well, but then there'll be another troll. I mean, there's always more trolls.
Right. That's a good point.
They keep coming at you.
Interesting.
All right, so I've been a Jets fan for 25 years. I'm like as optimistic as Peter is about the Commanders. Every year I think they're going to be great. But my point is I don't think the Jets really need to win a Super Bowl for this to be considered a success. I don't even really think they need to get to one. I mean, obviously that'd be great but it's statistically improbable. There's so many good teams out there. I think the win for the Jets is being relevant, getting the Adam Gase stink off, and just being a place where winners want to play and where we can get to a place where we are winning.
But David, don't you think you're damaged?
Oh, of course.
Well, I mean, but you have to expect more from this team. I mean, I think you're just afraid to dream.
Oh, no. My point is I want to enjoy the journey. I don't want to say we have to win a Super Bowl or it's a failure, because I'm also a Yankees fan, and that's not that much fun saying that every year. I want to enjoy it. I think if they don't make the playoffs, it is a failure.
Sure.
But I could see if they go to the AFC Championship and lose 27-24 to Kansas City, I mean, I'm not going to be
what you want to do, David, because I was thinking about this, what you ultimately want to have the Jets be is a destination post-Rodgers. Because right now, well, why did Cook sign here? He likes New York. He likes the Jets. He wants to play with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer. What you want to do is be able to build a team that people want to play for, no matter who the quarterback is, because you know they've got a clue and they're going to find a way to win. So ride whatever you can out of this, make the playoffs. But if he spends 2-3 years here, and the deepest you get in the playoffs is the divisional round and maybe one championship game, and you look back over those 3 years, are you going to consider it a success? Or are you going to look at it and say, another 3 years in which we didn't win a Super Bowl?
Well, what the caller just said, if you get the stink from this long stretch without making the playoffs, and what you just said, if now players want to come here because it's kind of a cool place to play, they like the way the players are treated, then it's a success, even if they don't win a Super Bowl. But if you start from ground zip again after Rodgers leaves, no, then it's an epic fail. If you don't win a Super Bowl and you got nothing out of it other than 3 fun years, and then it starts all over again, then I don't think it's good.
No, because what are you post-Rodgers? A team without a quarterback.
Right.
And then you're last year's team. And now nobody wants to go play for a team that doesn't have a quarterback. So let's worry about the future down the road.
And also another problem, Don, if they're competitive with Rodgers and they don't win the Super Bowl, then you're not going to pick high enough to get a quarterback. So you're going to be in quarterback hell.
That's true.
Hey, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfect.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
I was tired of being told by my doctor that my weight was always the root of my problems. Found changed that. I'm down 78 pounds because of Found, and I'm just getting started. Found paired me with a team of clinicians and found the right medication. Their team of behavioral experts helped me to make lasting changes. Finally, I found a program that fits my lifestyle, improved my health, helped me reclaim my confidence. Try it out. Head to joinfound.com to start.
Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at square.com today.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
You've heard our story, the one about measuring twice, cutting once, and building something you're proud to put your name behind. What are we building? A different kind of workwear, inspired by the values of those who put in the work. Brunt. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Lease a Tucson for $239 a month, or get 3.29% APR or $2,500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price Domino's pizzas when you order online right now. Right now?
Right now.
Right now? Right now? Right now.
50% off, honey, right now!
Now through the end of the week, get 50% off all menu price pizzas when you order online at Domino's.
What do we always say, son? Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
They only pay for what you need.
That's my boy.
Stay off the freeways.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly. Ding dong, Drizzly.
Our idea of the perfect day? You, your best friend,
Yeah, buddy. You ready to run?
and Quattro all-wheel drive. Own the elements in the Audi Q5.
Let's go, buddy.
Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Chris Sheeran back here with the Michael Kay Show. This look at the wild card standings is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. After being on the wrong end of a one-hit shutout last night, the Yankees now find themselves slip-sliding away in the wild card picture. They're now a 500 ball club and are 6.5 games behind the Jays for the third and final wild card spot. They do have 7 games left against the Red Sox and 6 with the Jays, 2 teams they have to leapfrog, but they also have to get by the Mariners as well. Tonight's game is on Prime Video with our coverage beginning at 6:30. First pitch is a little after 7, and then complete post-game coverage is back on Yes after the final out.
Rules and to enter, visit the ESPN New York app, click on Travel with the Home Team, and it's all brought to you by the engagement experts at London Jewelers. Let's go back to the phones. 1-800-919-3776. Andrew, Long Beach. Andrew.
Hey, Michael, Peter, Don, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great. So I heard Peter was at the famed Cabana of Long Beach over the weekend and had a little issue. He lost his wallet, if that's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Peter, rest assured, my administration is on the case. So true. And I have a theory, only speaking in hypotheticals here, of what could have happened.
Okay. Very interesting.
So, the famed Mike Francesa is a Long Beach resident. So, do you think it is at all possible that Mr. Francesa sent his crew down there, maybe an elite group of pickpocketers?
Wow.
That, as a sign of holding down home field, took your
That's a lot to digest, Andrew.
I got to tell you, Andrew, that had not crossed my mind as an option here.
Wow.
Or another option, though, because Natalie found a picture of me sitting at the restaurant with the wallet in front of me on the table when I was paying the bill. Is it possible that I left it there, it was found by somebody, and rather than get me the wallet back, they reached out to Francesa and said, "Do you want this?"
Peter, you might just watch out for any potential blackmail cases. Again, you never know. But what I will say, last point, I know the Cabana workers, a lot of very great people over there, so I don't think they would do something like that.
I don't think so either. I feel very strongly they're very good people
So
over
what
there. I appreciate
in
it.
the wallet, Peter? Because I wasn't here when it got lost. In the wallet, what's in the wallet? Licensed credit cards?
Yeah, license,
insurance cards,
license, credit cards, maybe insurance card,
Disney ID,
Disney ID, which is going to be like
that's not easy to get back.
Right, it's going to be like signing up for the FBI again to get that. My original Hot 97 ID, which I've had for 17 years, that's kind of a bummer. And of course, Natalie gave me the wallet, which I'd like to find. Besides that, though, the most valuable and annoying thing I lost is I had 2 vouchers for Lowe's movies, which I will never be able to redeem.
That's the most important thing you've lost.
Well, because everything else, when you think about it, it's replaceable. Everything's replaceable except Lowe's is not going to give me 2 free passes to go back to the movies. Everything else, I put freezes on the credit cards, but no one's tried to use anything yet, which makes me think I'm just a moron and it's somehow in my house.
Now, this is going to sound ridiculous.
Okay.
But we went to a restaurant and Marco brought, it was an actual like Spider-Man magazine, brand new, just bought it.
I love that magazine.
At the table.
Michael, I subscribe to Spider-Man.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
We went to the parking lot to go home and realized we forgot it.
Okay.
Went right back into the restaurant. They had cleared the table. He threw it out. And we said to the guy, you didn't see the magazine? Is it possible that when they cleared the table, they just threw the wallet out?
They saw a beautiful Gucci leather wallet.
Well,
just
because
chucked
again,
in
it
the
is
trash.
thinking. They just probably wasn't
Or
thinking.
maybe maybe they found it and they chucked all they said, listen, the other stuff is traceable. The Gucci wallet is not. They threw everything out.
No, I think
The people are
I
too
think
good.
the busboy came and just quickly cleared it because maybe there were people waiting for a table or whatever, and I bet you it just got thrown out.
It's so sad. Now, here's a good would you on Would You Wednesday. Would you rather lose a wallet or your phone?
The answer's got to be phone these days.
Yes.
Because
I agree.
As annoying as it is, you have a good chance to find it. If it's an iPhone, you do find my phone, you can track it down. And then everything that's in the phone now gets backed up every day.
Not mine.
It's in the cloud.
Not mine.
You don't back up to the cloud?
Well, because, you know why? Because I will not pay them for the rest of my life every month for more storage. So I've hit the storage thing and nothing goes to the cloud now.
And that's it. Now you're done.
I mean, what a racket. For the rest of your life, you have to keep paying for storage.
There's so many
It
rackets
kind of
going
works that way with furniture and stuff.
What is that? What?
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Well, they're storing your stuff, so why shouldn't they charge you for it? If I wanted to store like a couch and I go to a storage place and put it in, they're still going to charge me a monthly fee.
But this
It's
is
not like I get to put it.
But first of all, they maneuvered their way into this since the start of iPhoneville.
True.
Right. Michael's saying this is like cap space. It's air.
Yeah, I mean, what's it cost them? I mean, the amount of money for a phone. And stop. I mean, I am not giving them, because again, if you live to 140, you're paying every month until 140.
Yeah, that would be that gets expensive. I got it, Don. I found a show that I think you got to watch.
Really?
You're like me. You love Independence Day, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The holiday or the movie?
Both are great.
Okay.
I prefer the movie, and in fact, I try to watch the movie every holiday. Apple TV, I guess the show's coming back, so the last season they kind of put it up. And while Natalie and I were watching Silo, which is also tremendous, I saw the ad for a show called Invasion. It's an alien invasion show that feels so Independence Day. 10 episodes, season 1. Season 2 is about to come out, Don. Literally, the show starts, there are different locations. You'll love it.
I can't wait.
What? Oh, for morning show?
No, for Peter to have a child and all of this free time is gone.
You know what? You say it, Michael,
Yeah.
but guess what? The man just burned through 5 seasons of Breaking Bad in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
no, because the kids now are 5. They're somewhat self-sufficient. But the first 3 years, you're lost. You don't have that time.
But you could carve out some time.
But
I mean,
not
I get
that
my
much
books
time.
in.
All this guy does is watch TV.
I got a book right now about the history of Crazy Eddie.
Really?
Seriously. Yes.
You know what? Crazy Don, let's go to the phones.
Because it's just the corruption. Like he was a bad guy.
Let's go to Herb in Amityville. Herb.
Herb.
Come on, Herb. We've been looking forward to this call.
Come on, Herb. What do you got?
Don't let us down.
Where's
I don't want to
Peaches?
lose Herb.
Herb.
Come on. That's right. Reunited
and it feels so good.
All right, what? Tell me, can you, Anthony, pretend to be Herb and give us the
I
call?
think it's pronounced herb.
Yeah.
Herb.
What was Herb going to say?
Wanted to know what the big deal is about the wrestling. Don't you know that it's fake? And Michael and Don were very disinterested in the interview.
No, that's true.
And Peter just sat there and was so enthralled by it, I don't get it.
Well, if he didn't get it, then there's a lot of things he doesn't get.
Poor Herb.
You know
Because
what?
this is a sports show.
Oh, yeah?
And that's not sports.
Good.
And they say it's sports.
But
And I
at
tried
least-
to explain that it's wrestling entertainment.
Sports
but
entertainment,
that didn't
that's
go
right.
very well.
Listen, he couldn't even operate a phone. So what do I care what he thinks?
Yeah, ask the in words of Don LaGreca, what did the nurse think?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You guys are really mean.
Well, that's what Don would say. Don would say, you give the phone back to your nurse. I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Somebody dialed the phone. It wasn't him.
Listen, why? Yeah, everyone knows that professional wrestling is not athletic competition. It's very athletic. It's very entertaining. It's not athletic competition. So, okay, good night. Good luck. Move on.
And you acknowledged it when you talked about how it's like, what's
like
the word that you use?
Choreography.
And
predetermined, whatever you want to say.
That. Did Herb or Herb really think that we believe that it's real?
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't matter. But I'd ask Herb, next time a legendary wrestling figure passes, go look around at the media and see the places that cover it the most. You'll see Sports Illustrated, you'll see ESPN, you'll see all these different places because wrestling, while it's not competitive sport, for whatever reason, runs up against sports. It's called sports entertainment. Get over it.
You know what I love? I don't know if you guys, the organ in the background. Do you hear it?
Oh, yeah. It's like, it reminds me of, you know what, Michael? It's getting us ready for the hockey season.
Yes.
When Don starts to get that accompaniment two times a week.
Let's go to Billy in Kings Park. Billy.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just got a Would You Wednesday for you.
Love it. Here we go.
All right. Would you rather loudly protest at every wedding that you go to or take a selfie with the deceased at every funeral?
Ooh, wow. Well, what are we, just from clarification, what are we loudly protesting at the wedding?
The wedding, when they say, if anyone has to protest, please speak now.
Yeah.
Yep, right then and there. That's when you got to.
Every wedding, when that happens, you got to go. Me, I protest. It's wrong. Oh, you have to go. But man, the selfie at a funeral.
That is so morbid, though.
I think
right?
you got to go selfie at funeral, though.
No, I think I'd rather have the wedding thing.
At the funeral, if it's a good friend, you're probably going to be okay. But if it's some random person, you're just trying to.
Well, but then what you can do is just start avoiding funerals. But like weddings, you want to go to. Wow. It's a
wait, when you let's clear this up, Billy. When you say selfie at a funeral, does the dead body have to be in the selfie, or just you at a funeral selfie?
No.
Oh no, it's you with the the body in the background.
Interesting.
That's kind of.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I'd rather do the wedding thing.
Yeah, I think I'd do the wedding. Well, just real quick story because it reminded me when I worked at the pharmacy, we sent film out to be developed, and the guy comes in. It was a woman actually comes in and says, "These aren't my pictures," and she's almost like shaking. And I opened up to see the pictures, and it was a funeral. Like the body was in like just a wooden box, and they were holding it up and they were dancing around. It was a weird like ritual kind of stuff. that's the pictures that they were in the wrong envelope. That's the one she got.
Along those lines, there was a group of people here in Atlanta the other day, right? They do tours before they open the ballpark, and so it was a lot of people from New Jersey, older people, younger kids, and they asked if I'd stop for a picture. I said, of course. So the tour guide has taken like maybe 100 of them. So I cracked, you're wasting film, right? And then they laughed, but the kids didn't. And then I said, you used to actually drop off film at a photomat, and a stranger actually looked at all of your personal pictures before you got them back. And the kids had this blank look on their face. They have no idea that this ever existed. It's unbelievable how life has changed in such a short period of time.
You take those pictures and you just hope. You would hope they got it right. And there'd be times the best picture you took just didn't develop right, or it got lost.
So you guys remember we left the disposable
yes
cameras. So we got the pictures a couple of weeks ago. And on every roll, there'd be like a handful of gems and then just pure garbage. Like anyone who tried to take pictures from a distance, like they would try to shoot Don from like far away, like across, nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And then at Natalie's photographer tables, you got like 2 rolls of just perfect pictures because they know what to do.
I'm surprised I've been waiting because I actually, with the disposable camera at the table, I took an obscene picture. Maybe it didn't come out.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was you. It was so small.
How did our table do?
We have a few nice ones. Nice. We have a few nice ones from the table. Yeah, there's one of I believe you and Nancy. There's a nice Michael and Jody in there. There's a group shot.
There's an obscene one.
There's one of Michael choking RJ, which we finally got to see, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then there's the one of Michael in the bathroom. You know the Met Gala bathroom photo? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Where all the celebrities go in the bathroom and they take like a picture in the Met Gala in the mirror.
Oh, you mean the people that are totally disconnected from reality?
Yeah, well, there's one of those of Michael and Jody, but it's not what you'd think, Don. It's very interesting.
Interesting. This is Michael K. here to tell you about my favorite.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Having a family is one of life's most precious gifts and biggest responsibility. At Colonial Penn, we understand how important it is to take care of the people you love at any age, on any budget. That's why we were among the first to guarantee life insurance for men and women over age 50. Acceptance is guaranteed for everyone between the ages of 50 and 85 without exception. Get the peace of mind that comes with knowing your loved ones will have help with the bills you leave behind.
Visit colonialpenn.com to learn more.
It started when he ordered his Brunt work boots. He's going on about how they're comfortable as sneakers, but he never takes them off. With his buddies at night, I caught him in the shower, and he just goes, "What? They're waterproof."
Brunt, the tools you wear.
Look, don't take this the wrong way. But if you're looking for sustainable shoes made with natural materials and something more breathable, we think we have a better way. Better than natural. Supernatural. Allbirds.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to upstart.com.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
The most advanced vehicles are the ones that prepare you for everything. Lease a new 2023 Nero EV Wind for $259 a month.
If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, choose the right law firm by asking, what are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Whites and Luxembourg at 800-LAW-6789 to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit misowin.com.
4 delicious pieces of chocolate. 3 crisp wafers. 2 layers of sweet Kit Kat filling. 1 incredible break. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Now served up in birthday cake.
When you support City Harvest, you feed hope, love, and joy. You feed confidence, community, and comfort. You feed health, strength, and spirit. When you support City Harvest, you do more than just provide hundreds of millions of pounds of food to millions of hungry New Yorkers. You feed good. Support us at cityharvest.org.
Judge, see ya!
Tonight, catch the Bronx Bombers.
Live, only on Prime.
And the Yankees win!
Tonight, Yankees, Braves. Coverage begins at 6:30.
Let's do it. Get your heart pumping with Well Life NYC on the Yes app. Take a tour of the hottest gyms.
Excited to have you here.
I love to have fun when I work out. And the coolest places to chill around New York.
First, I'm going to be freezing you at negative 200 degrees.
This feels so good.
Let's see what happens.
Catch an all-new season of Well Life NYC, streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. The New York Liberty are Commissioner Cup champions. Maureen Johannes was a spark plug off the bench, leading the team with 17 points. Sabrina Ionescu heated up in the fourth quarter, netting 9 of her 12 points in the final stanza, where the Liberty pulled away from the Las Vegas Aces. One of Jonquel Jones' 15 rebounds on the night led to another Ionescu 3 here. The back-to-back threes for Sabrina put the Liberty up by 14, and she wasn't done. Check this one out. Heat check time. That one barely touched the net. The Liberty win 82-63, handing Las Vegas their first loss at home this season. And it was Jonquel Jones taking home MVP honors with her 16-point, 15-rebound performance. She had 10 second-half rebounds, including 5 in the fourth quarter, where New York outscored the Aces 26-15. After dropping their first game to Vegas this season, the Liberty have taken the last 2, and they have 2 more left in the regular season. Tomorrow night at 10 on Yes, and then August 28th back in New York on ESPN2.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you guys, as I say every day.
Well, wait, Anthony says he has the overall point guard statistics.
Really?
You know that?
Oh, yeah, I've been keeping track since we started.
Wow, all right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'd say Don's in the lead.
You would be wrong, Michael. You're in first
Wow,
with 20.
You are a gutless puke.
Yes, in relation to what we were discussing off air.
Right.
Don has 18. And Peter and the callers are tied at 12.
See, that's not right.
Callers/guests.
So you're not even trying, Peter.
Listen, I should have gotten it today, but Anthony was scared that Michael would have him removed. He's just trying to protect his lunch. I understand it. You know what I mean? Because I brought the heat today.
See, now you bring that up, all right? You Nudnik, and there are people out there that actually believe that.
I know.
And you believe that's the truth.
What, that I'm great?
No, that I would have you removed. Because if I
God.
had that power,
Yeah.
it would be done.
Yeah, on who? Anthony or me?
On you. I love
Right.
Anthony.
You
Thanks,
are
Michael.
a gutless puke.
No, I was joking about that.
Michael
part, guys.
only had one person ever removed from this show.
Who was it?
I won't say, but I'll give you enough information you'd guess. He was removed, and they made him program director. So it worked out.
It's not really a hint.
Well, if you know the history of the show.
But it wasn't Ryan Hurley.
No.
Not
Wasn't
Ryan
Hurley or Justin Craig or Mike Thompson or Rob Astorino.
So you're telling all the people it was not?
It was not.
Or John Winthrop.
Let's go to the phones, please. Let's go to
Kevin
Jay
Graham.
in Queens.
None of these people.
Jay.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing?
What's up, Jay?
All right. Hey, listen. First of all, Peter, congratulations on your wedding.
Oh, no.
Goodbye. No, sorry. That's the
we
rule.
said it.
You got to listen.
Come on. Those are the
Don,
rules.
you
I
made
know
the
the
rule.
would you.
I didn't.
Now, you know the would you?
I do know the would you.
Okay, that works out.
All right, so
it was the dog edition.
He had a would you I wanted to hear, but unfortunately, if you haven't heard the show, guys, no more wedding
It's over.
congratulations.
It's over. It's sickening. Nobody cares anymore.
It's 2 months.
Well, you don't have to badmouth. I didn't do anything wrong. All right,
Well,
go
you know
ahead,
what you
Anthony.
could do? If you just say, how's the marriage going? But congratulations on something that took, it was a month and a half ago.
So if they wanted to get their expression and they go, hey, Peter, hope the marriage is going great.
Right. That's a little bit more palatable, although we'll get sick of that too.
I know. All right, go ahead. What was his would you?
You're not going to answer it, but
All
I
right.
figured it'd be fun to just have you sweat a little bit.
All right.
If you had to send one packing, who would it be, Bear or Rocky?
That would be Rocky, but he can't say that because his wife's dog.
It makes sense.
That is exactly how he described
And it
it.
makes sense because Rocky's not well.
No, hold on. First of all,
Bear's not a paragon of health either.
No, but
Wait, no. Hold
he's
on.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
Hold on.
compared to Rocky.
Hold on. First of all,
He actually defecated in an Uber yesterday. That's not a healthy dog.
He didn't appreciate the ride.
But I got to tell you, I'm going to take the L for that one. Let me just say this. Bear is a picture of health, thank God, knock on wood. And Rocky, though he has his struggles, as many older Maltese owners understand, he has his heart murmur and all those things. He's doing great. He's pushing along. Kept me up the last 2 days coughing nonstop. But that's okay. I'm still here fighting. Now, Bear's Uber incident that we shall not mention, but in your mind you can know, known as the day that Bear took a dump in an Uber, is what happened was I made a mistake. See, Don, there's a great lesson we learn with dogs. If you're the kind of person who yells at your dog for making a mistake, Don, 9.5 times out of 10, if you really look in the mirror, it wasn't the dog that made the mistake. The dog was just going to dog.
Right.
You made a mistake.
Yes.
And I rushed him into an Uber on Saturday when I went out to Long Island. I rushed him into the Uber. I thought his long pee was enough. I didn't give him 10 minutes to sniff it out. And we're in the car.
It's on you.
And he's going crazy. We're on the West Side Highway. He's jumping up and down off the seat.
A lot of passengers do that on the West Side Highway.
I'm thinking he's just nervous. I'm so dumb. I'm like, why is he so antsy? He's normally such a good ride. I rolled down the window a little bit to give him air. Guys, I thought he was going to try to commit suicide. He's trying to crawl out the window on the highway. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. At no point do I think this dog just has to go. So when we keep going, we're on the highway, and all of a sudden, he just cops a squat right on the floor of the car. I am so mortified.
All right, so a couple of questions, Peter.
Yeah, go ahead.
You gave the guy 5 stars, right?
Of course.
All right, and what kind of tip did you give the gentleman?
So this is a very expensive ride to start out with.
I can imagine.
All right? These days, do you know how much money it costs to get out to Long Beach from the Upper West Side?
I'd say $100.
It was $150.
What do you want?
Okay.
Yeah, you're rich.
It was not my ideal choice, but my wife was using the car for other things, and so I had to do what I had to do. My brother was in town. We were all getting together out in Long Beach. So I gave him, when I got there, first of all, when we got there, it's even better than this though. We stop in Jamaica, like around Jamaica-ish. We pull off because the smell is unbearable. I get out to go buy some like water and paper towels and things to clean it. The second I get outside of the cab, it starts pouring rain on me and Bear. So we're now getting soaked. So now you have wet dog in addition to just thunder dump in the back seat of the car.
I love this whole trip.
Okay,
that's an AC/DC song that didn't make the cut.
So I know we got to go to ENN here, but so then I come back, and when I get back, the lovely gentleman who was driving us had already taken. He was an Uber pet driver, so the back seat, he had the rubber sort of thing in the back. He'd taken it out of the car and he'd already sprayed it off himself. He said the rain just cleaned it up. But when he dropped me off, I got the hose. I cleaned it again myself. I thanked him profusely. I gave him $20 in cash and like another $25 on the actual.
Quite the hero. Anyway, ENN's coming up in just a moment. And
He asked for the tip.
It's a
I gave him the
TV
answer.
vehicle as well, not just
Yes.
radio. On TV. Yep, to hit a home run, everything needs to line up perfectly.
I
I have lucid dreams almost every night. I keep thinking I have some kind of double life. Years ago, I came up with the design for a beautiful flowy dress with a pattern made from real flowers. During hard times, I go into survival mode and I have bright dreams every night. Every night, I close my eyes and I find myself inside my brain. I travel through memories and time. I just want to keep dreaming forever.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned with even more traveler-friendly features. In new colors, inspired by the world. More color, more luggage, more travel. Shop at awaytravel.com.
Excited. We'll park even deeper into parking spaces so people think they're open.
Surprise! Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No.
Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that?
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
The all-electric Genesis GV60. Enter. Start. Take off. Have fun. Recharge. Repeat. Get a $7,500 EV lease bonus on the Genesis GV60 exclusively at your Tri-State Genesis retailers.
Let's do it.
Get your heart pumping with Well Life NYC on the Yes app. Take a tour of the hottest gyms
I love to have fun when I work out.
and the coolest places to chill around New York.
First, I'm going to be freezing at -200 degrees.
Watch Well Life NYC streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Welcome to CNN.
On TV.
Ray Rowe. I'd like to start off tonight's CNN by saying good evening to Michael.
Listen, you can have it, baby. I'll hand it right off.
Whoa. That was good.
Listen, you can have it, baby. I'll hand it right off.
Whoa.
What was I talking about?
Wait. Also, very subtle ice movement, if you hear the end of it.
No,
Listen.
that was just me right now.
That's live.
That was live.
Oh, okay.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
that's
No. This would be me on a fraud. Like making a snow cone on the air. That's a fraud.
That was yesterday. That was a long time ago. Let's say good evening to Don.
I'm not dying.
Good evening to Anthony.
This is a sports show.
That's right. And good evening to Michael and myself.
I took an obscene picture.
Is
Maybe
that
it didn't
true?
come out.
I didn't know that was you. It was so small.
Jerk.
You guys want to? We haven't gotten into the hard knocks of it all yet. I haven't watched last night's episode yet.
Neither have I. So let's skip over it.
No, we can't. We can't. The people need it, and we can learn something, and it'll make it that much more intriguing when we watch it later tonight. You know what I mean? So, let's hear Robert Saleh getting after the offensive line. And by the way, I'm told, let me text my text message here, that I have to credit our friends at Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets, streaming now on Max. Hope that's good with everybody.
No, it's got to be more.
All right. The famed and well-awarded, highly dignified and honored Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets, streaming now on Max.
Did you see what the impact of being on Hard Knocks is? Like, Vegas had a lot of bets on the Jets, and since the first two Hard Knocks came out, they've skyrocketed. People are very impressionable.
I know. You watch a team, you see what Rodgers is like, you're like, oh, wow, this guy's dialed in. And now you're picking him. Frauds. Let's hear from Bob Saleh, head coach of the Jets. Here he is ripping into his O-line.
It was our first opportunity to change the stink that's been in this organization for a very long time on the offensive side of the ball. You can have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can have two $10 million plus receivers. You can have a reigning offensive rookie of the year. You can have all kinds of skill in the running back room. None of it matters until the big boys up front change who the we are. We as coaches, we as an organization can't want it more than you. And I'm watching that tape all night last night, trying to find something to show that we're changing, and it didn't show.
Well, you like that? A coach telling his team what's what? You even allowed to do that anymore?
Right. Good point.
Y'all get very upset.
Football is the one sport I think you can kind of...
Except in Washington and Eric Bieniemy.
Apparently, the precious offensive staff in Washington, or players in Washington, is too much.
And also, I brought this up too, Michael, last week. There was the whole thing with, or I guess it was Monday when I brought it up, when the Giant Lion preseason game, when Dable gave like a death stare to McGahee, the special teams coach for the 95-yard kickoff. Like, he's not allowed to stare at his coach. It is weird how the fans want the fiery coach, but then when you are fiery or you do something like that, it's like, oh, what's going on there? Something's happening. Like, what do we want?
We don't know what we want.
Well, and you can't always get what you want.
So you get what you need.
Right.
Well, hopefully you get what you need. You know what I mean? So I'll think about that.
That's right, Vic.
Here's Robert Saleh on
Again?
on the skirmishes between the Jets and the Bucs in practice.
You guys know me. It's I joke around, but it is what it is. Keep it below the neck, above the waist, and at the same time, if you want to get a little extra conditioning in and have a little skirmish of pushing and shoving, go ahead. It's not going to hurt you, but it doesn't bother me.
Coaches love that.
Oh, yeah. We'll get scrappy. The commies got scrappy with the Ravens. Well, everyone gets scrappy.
I think it's a lot. I think a lot of it is staged.
You know, we got to show everyone. Look how scrappy we are.
Because I saw when the one day when we were at camp, and I watched practice. It seemed like every time there was a tackle, somebody pushes another guy. There was something that happened. I guess it was Lawrence knocked down Saquon yesterday, and they kind of got into it. I just think that it's hot. They're aggravated. It probably's. Michael, for these professional athletes to go through these drills and stuff, it's probably very frustrating. They probably just want to play already.
I mean, they don't want to get hit by their own teammates in a game that doesn't count, but it's part of getting ready.
But I also think it impresses the coaches sometimes, makes it look like, hey, I'm not having the greatest of day, but because I got into a fight, it shows you I'm engaged.
Wasn't a Jet coach, I hope he's okay, was carted off because of a skirmish? Today, yeah.
He got like run over in
No,
the skirmish?
I think I don't want to speak out of school, so I'll try to find it. But I think it was like he was just overcome.
With like, you mean like he was doing too much? The heat, the intensity?
Yeah, I'm going to try to find it and give you a specific.
Is everything okay?
The last I heard it was.
Well, in the meantime, let's hear from Sam Acho, who says defenses are going to be excited to get after that Jets O-line.
Defenses are going to say, sure, Garrett Wilson, he's elite. Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook. If I can beat this offensive lineman, I'm good. And you don't think Bradley Chubb in Miami is looking and saying, man, I'm going to beat these offensive linemen? You don't think that you heard Shaq Lawson in Buffalo saying, I'm the dog? Like, all these defensive linemen, pass rushers, it's winning your matchup. And I think, if I was a defensive lineman, I would say, man, I'm going to make a splash against this offensive line because it doesn't matter who the quarterback is when I'm winning my one-on-one.
Well, that is going to be the big test for this team. Can they protect Aaron Rodgers and create some space for Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall?
And we're not going to find out because you're not going to see Rodgers in any of these games.
Well, he said you might see him in the Giant game. He told us.
Maybe a series, right? Maybe.
By the way, I think he should. Haven't you guys, based on what we've seen and the injury history now the last year or two, and Michael, those couple of moments when you hear Rodgers, he's grabbed for his calf, and don't you think it would be useful to just at least go through the motion for a series or two, make sure everything's all right?
Yeah, I can see the positive, but if he gets hurt.
But real quick, you tell me, who is the NFL player with a death wish who's going to do anything to hurt Aaron Rodgers in a preseason game? He doesn't even get touched in the regular season.
Here's the story, Peter. Jets senior defensive assistant cornerbacks coach Tony Oden was taken to a hospital, but is alert after being carted off the field during today's practice, according to Saleh. Oden caught some friendly fire during one of the scuffles between the Jets and the Buccaneers in their joint practice.
Oh, so he got hit.
I guess. Saleh said he's doing fine. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I know it was during one of the altercations. I think he caught some friendly fire. He's awake. He's doing fine. He's stable.
So maybe he got knocked out or something. I was worried it was like a sort of Mick in Rocky III situation. The emotion.
There's a lot of emotion that I can't believe.
Taunting for Mr. T.
I can't even believe that you're not even upset about this.
Who?
That Britney Spears and her husband are separated after 14 months.
I didn't even know she was married. So it doesn't bother me.
Well, it should bother you now that you know. Somebody separated after 14 months.
Well, you know what happy. You know what I'd like to say? I'd like to say good.
Why would you like to say good?
Because for anyone, I don't know Britney Spears, and I don't want to speak out of school, but I know what she puts on social media.
Yeah, as a husband, that would bother me if Jody did those kind of dances.
Well, but hold on. I don't even mean bother me in the sense that like they're too revealing or sexual or something. She generally on social media comes off as completely unhinged. So like to be in a relationship with someone who's publicly seeming like intentionally unhinged, and I'm not talking about Michael going back at Yankee fans a couple nights ago, Don. I'm talking about just very weird behavior. To me, that says that that's someone who, to me, sounds like, I hate to say it, a bit of a gold digger.
Who's a gold digger?
The husband.
Why would he leave then?
Maybe he has some sort of thing where if he lasts more than a year, he can get some of the cash. Or maybe he's been stealing the cash underneath the table.
Awfully terrible things to allege.
Listen, I don't know anything, and this is just me speculating.
You're talking about Sam Angari.
Who?
Sam Angari. That's his name.
That's the guy?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with his work.
You know what? You can watch other things other than your own little circle of enjoyment, Don.
Well, excuse me. So is it a bad thing that I don't know what's going on with Britney Spears and Houshmandzadeh, whatever his name is?
She's with C.J. Houshmandzadeh, former Bengal, current Bengal.
Former Raven.
Maybe I'm in the circle because that's the circle I want to be.
Yeah, but you can't stay in your circle. You have to.
No, I don't.
He's reading a book about Crazy Eddie.
I'm happy about it. There's a long history in New York with Crazy Eddie.
But what is that information? What's the information that you're gleaning from this book? How's that going to further you in life?
I don't know. How's the Britney Spears?
You know what? It's giving us a segment, isn't it? We wouldn't have had this segment if not for that.
No, ENN is a fountain of information.
Thank you.
You just keep digging, and there's even more information. I'm just, hey, listen, if they don't want to be together anymore, then they're happy they moved on. I'm sure they'll both be able to get up.
So, Anthony, how did Garrett Wilson troll Sean Payton?
Well, I know. If you want me to answer you.
Fine, Michael, go ahead.
Sean Payton has a rule that when you come out of a game, you have to be out of uniform. You cannot wear sunglasses, and you can't wear a bucket hat. For some reason, he hates bucket hats.
I don't like him either.
Or do interviews. Can't even do interviews. Well,
I'm good with
Garrett
that,
Wilson came out with sunglasses and a bucket hat. Now, he didn't keep his uniform on because he wasn't dressed for the game, but he had jet garb on and did an interview. Flying in the face of what Sean Payton will not let his Broncos do.
I'm sure Sean will not be able to sleep tonight.
Garrett Wilson, were you trolling Sean Payton?
The outfit that you wore during the sideline interview during the game, was that intentional?
We're not going to speak on it. I was advised not to speak on it. So, good question.
You're not mocking Garrett. You're mocking the reporters.
Yeah, because it doesn't really. If I had a stand-up career of just nothing but reporters that came to see me play, I would be the greatest comedian ever. I'd be like, why did the chicken cross the road?
Now, when you were covering the Giants for FAN, you didn't do the fake laugh?
No.
Never.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
I'm awful. That's why I hate having comedians in the studio. I'm not going to fake laugh.
Yeah, Don.
Can't do it.
You know what? Don's not a great fake laugher. I've seen it.
I just can't do it.
Why do you think that when we had Bill Burr, he was so disgusted by Don? It wasn't just the pink eye. Don didn't laugh at his jokes.
Bill Burr was very good in Breaking Bad, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. Odell's going with purple hair, huh?
Yeah,
for the
that's
Ravens.
fantastic. Catch a ball.
Oh, my God.
No, what do I care what color your hair is? Just to play football.
You don't care about anything but Vicki Lawrence. It's unbelievable.
Here's the thing. No.
And
I'm
Alan
just saying is that Odell, listen, you catch passes, you win Super Bowls. Doesn't matter what color your hair is, all right? It's football. You can't be ignored. A guy wore a bucket hat. It's an E&N. Like, football is just so powerful. Just show up. Wear purple hair if you're like a hockey player. Then people might actually care. Or a soccer guy. If you're the MLS, they all should have different color hair.
You know what? You're right, Don. We should.
But in football, it doesn't matter.
We should move on to another story that's more ENN worthy. Venus Williams is set to play in
Don,
her
he's doing this to
24th
rattle
U.S.
you.
Open. Her 24th U.S. Open after receiving a wild card. The 43-year-old returned to competition earlier this summer after being sidelined for 6 months. And she got her first top 20 win, as you remember from ENN yesterday.
Don, 4 years. Don, do you believe, I really believe that astronomers, right, are less obsessed with Venus than he is?
Yes, it's true.
This story just on my, listen, I report the news, and our producers at ESPN believe this is a big story.
It's not a big story. Who cares?
Well, no, 24 U.S. Opens, that's something.
She won 24? That's not.
No,
that's a lie.
She's been in 24.
It's a compiler.
Can you find out, Anthony, actually, who has played in the most of one Grand Slam? And you guys have a prediction?
I'm sure, yeah, it's Martina.
Do you think it's Martina?
Of course it's Martina.
Because
after she finished singles, she was doing doubles and mixed doubles.
I assume this is her 24th singles.
Well, she's also played doubles during that time.
No, but we're not counting about Venus has played doubles every year too.
Right. Yeah. But I think that Martina then started playing doubles too, without playing singles.
After you mean so then at a second run, as just a doubles player.
I believe.
It's very interesting. I'm gonna do some research on this.
She actually played doubles for a while with Sam Angari. People don't know that.
Is that true?
Yes.
And TJ Hushmanzada.
Eli Manning was on with Barton Hahn earlier.
No way.
You're kidding.
Eli was?
Sorry.
Right.
No,
well, they had to talk to somebody at camp.
Sorry, it was Daniel Jones.
Oh, see?
Don, did you chew up an hour of the show today or what? Did you drop by?
No, they weren't even here. What are you going to do? So they asked me to come in. I say no.
No, but you didn't have to be on for a half hour. You saved your good stuff for this show.
They wanted some LaGreco, and he gave it to him.
But don't you think, Peter, he has a responsibility to save his good takes for this?
No, I think he has enough takes to go around.
That is true.
Here's Daniel Jones on Barton Hahn. Will the offense for this team be different this year?
We talked about that a lot. Last year we had some success at points and did certain things well, but we got a new team and different guys and a couple different spots. So we're working to find what's best for this group and what best fits our skill set now. And that's, as you know, a big thing Dave talks about and his ability to adjust and see our skill set and utilize that as best we can. You know, that's kind of what we're doing in training camp and what we'll do throughout the season. But that's definitely a big part of it.
Now I can't help but hear the saliva. Thanks to Michael.
That's the same amount of
The
saliva.
same amount. Yeah, that's right, Peter. It's important to note it's the exact same liters of saliva.
Liters? You're going with that much, huh?
That's a lot.
I've seen you do the fake laugh when we do interviews with somebody in person.
No.
When you,
Give me an example.
There's so many, I can't even pick one out.
Well, then pick one. It should be easy then if there's so many.
You used to always do the fake laugh with Rex. Always.
Oh, yeah.
Go back.
That's true. He's fake laughed in that situation.
He's a fake
How do you know?
laugher.
Maybe I genuinely laughed.
No, you're not legitimate in anything you do like that.
Anyway, there's something to a fake laugh when you've got an audience on a radio show so that the joke of the guest goes over.
True.
Where I'm just in a room where I'm supposed to be taking notes and reporting. Why do I have to prop him up with his joke?
Well, maybe you're in the room taking notes and you're a little bit nervous and you have some trepidation, so you that breaks the tension a
They're
little bit.
all trying to get inside information, and that person that told the joke, in this case, in this case, Garrett Wilson wouldn't urinate on those guys if they were on fire, but yet they still think I'll laugh and he'll like me.
The urination, the urination supposition, I think, is really off base. You have no idea.
We've used that so many times on the show. You know how many different people wouldn't urinate on someone else if they were on fire?
Why don't we do a nice broad stroke, Peter? No professional athlete would ever help anybody who's not a professional athlete over a professional athlete.
So you would say then laughing at their joke isn't going to help much.
Well, but it might help you be one of their more favorite writers who they despise every one of them, but the one who laughs loudest might be the one that they leak something to.
What if the
and that urination?
What if the journalist in question's a former player? Maybe they would urinate.
Yeah, well, I think once you're in that, it's a great point by you, and that's why you're as successful as you are. I think that once you're in the club, you're in the club.
Actual urination?
We have urination. When you...
It's a lot happening on the show today. In case you guys are wondering, the Big 12, soon to be the Big 30, has had talks with Gonzaga, UConn, among others. So they've already added Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado. God, guys, is there anything like one of those classic Big 12 matchups between UConn and Colorado?
Well, you know
That's
what would
where you
really
buy
work,
money. That's where you spend money.
It would really work. Because if Utah, I don't think UConn's going to join, but if they did, that the softball team would have to travel out to Utah for their games. I mean, everybody just thinks it's football and basketball. There are other sports that you have to.
Right.
They're in the conference. They have to travel 3,000 miles and still supposedly go to class.
Right.
Come on.
Like the bowling team.
Right. Ultimate Frisbee. They have to go.
It's truly.
I've always called it the Wild Wild West. No rules, just right.
No, this is no joke. This is a serious question.
Yeah.
Like the video game team, because there's a lot of schools that have it. Are they in the conferences?
No, it's got to be teams that are accredited by the NCAA. The NCAA doesn't have a video game team.
I don't know. Who knows? Why not?
But wouldn't the video teams be able to play virtually?
That's a good
what a great. Again, he proves every day.
Sort of, but not really.
No, they don't. They can't play.
They can, but to have it fair, everybody should be in the same place to be on the same Wi-Fi.
It does make for impropriety.
What about the porn watching team? Do they have to?
There's no
I always do my best work at home.
I would like, one thing you left out in your bear story, okay?
Unless it's a hotel, in which case.
You left one thing out in your bear story. So as Bear is defecating on the floor of the car, what are you saying? Are you yelling out, no? I mean, are you screaming?
Yes, top of my lungs. No, please, no.
Did you cup your hands? Did you do anything like that?
So I had to give up. Now, I did notice, of course, in the moment that he's got the rubber mats. So I know, we're going to be okay here.
Was he prairie dogging? Did you have a chance to see what was happening?
Did you have a chance to hang him out the window to let him finish?
The only way I knew it was happening was when he went into the squat position. And at that point, I tried to like pick him up and stop it, and I went, "What am I doing? I got to let go."
No, I can wait.
Like, here's how bad it was, and why I feel like such a bad owner for not reading it sooner. He dropped. You would have thought a thoroughbred Kentucky Derby winning horse was in
Any get on your shoe?
No.
None.
But by the way, it wasn't just enough that the initial release was gargantuan. He then added some sort of less than solid in addition to that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it was
I'm sorry to hear that.
So was the Uber driver.
Fortunately, though, he didn't step in it afterwards. And like I said,
Did he have a
did great
satisfied
job.
look on his face when it was over?
I have a picture.
We have to say goodbye to Yes.
Bye.
Oh, so
Prime
long,
Video,
Yes, so
Yankees
much.
tonight.
Like, wake up, Flip.
Oh, Yes is still here.
Yes is still here?
Yeah.
That was just to wrap the segment.
Oh, Yes is still here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 'cause
That's right.
it's,
Everything's on
TV.
Prime Video today, starting at 6:30.
This, Don, here's a look at Bear's embarrassed face after he had just...
Oh. But this is why Bear's a great dog. Because you said it was trying to climb out the window.
Yes.
So it was actually going to dive onto the highway before squatting in the Uber.
And it would have been on Peter's head. Not the poop, but...
Fortunately, I had one bag left, which allowed me to get up the most significant portion. And that will do it for ENN. Oh, boy. Well, actual urination on this beautiful Wednesday evening.
Well done. Really well done.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you should have. It was great. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. Let's converse until 7 right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Paying down debt can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Upstart makes it fast and easy. Borrowers can access the funds they need in as little as 1 business day. Checking your rate is fast, easy, with no cost to you or your credit score. Loans start at $1,000 and go up to $50,000. Join the club of over 1.8 million customers who have turned to Upstart for a personal loan. Your financial freedom begins at upstart.com.
The most important tool on any job site in America is the one you wear on your feet for 40 hours a week.
Wait, what?
My name is Eric Gerard. I started Brunt Workwear in my garage for my buddies in the trades. The modern construction worker has different needs than they did 100 years ago. That's why at Brunt, our gear is designed by workers for workers with premium technologies like triple layer comfort, slip and oil resistant soles, and a triple layer waterproofing system. Go online for free shipping and try any of our gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
People said I was crazy to do this. Just a surf coach who wanted to shake up the sunglass industry. I wanted something different, radical, and fun. I didn't want to blend in, so I created Blenders. Born on the beach in San Diego, now rocked with pride worldwide. We're bright, we're bold, at a price that everyone can afford. Don't blend in. Welcome to your new favorite shades.
I have lucid dreams almost every night. I keep thinking I have some kind of double life. Years ago, I came up with the design for a beautiful flowy dress with a pattern made from real flowers. During hard times, I go into survival mode and I have bright dreams every night. Every night, I close my eyes and I find myself inside my brain. I travel through memories and time. I just want to keep dreaming forever.
Hey. Hey. Rental? Yeah. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied.
Oh.
Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from theblacktux.com.
Brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next.
If you don't pick one,
Am I keeping you from your job? Next. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you?
Your electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The promise of America is freedom, equality. But right now, those pillars of our democracy are fragile. Reproductive rights, voting rights, the right to make your own choices and have your voice heard. We must act now to restore and protect these freedoms for us and for the future. We are the American Civil Liberties Union, and we are fighting in every state, every day to defend your rights and the rights of all people.
We have got to be here. We've got to be strong to protect those rights.
For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought for everyone to have a voice and equal justice, and we will never stop. Because we, the people, means all of us. To learn more about defending our democracy, go to myaclu.org today.
Some of us that his dad kept the gun to serve us. We need to show
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
We have urination. When you
Guys, it's time for the Last Call crew to take over.
Yeah, let's do it.
From now until 7 o'clock.
Show me something.
And you know who the captain of the Last Call crew is? Big Dick in Manhattan.
What's up, baby?
Hi, Don, Peter. Fellas, 75 years ago today, who died?
75 years ago today was the great George Herman Ruth.
Correct. 46 years ago today, who died?
All right, so what was 46 years ago?
No one loves him death like Richard.
Yeah. What was 46 years ago?
46
You guys have been talking about him for the last couple of weeks.
Oh, no, of course, Elvis.
Correct. Now,
Right before
the
my
question, and you can put Andrew with you, who was bigger in American history?
George
Elvis or Babe?
Oh, it's
Elvis.
Question. It's Elvis?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Don't write it off. It's close. Babe's big.
I know, but everybody's heard of him. But music is bigger than sports, right? When you have the impact of music, do you think there's a generation of people? I think that you will have a younger demographic of people that would be more familiar with Elvis than Ruth.
Oh, that's a very good. You know what, Richard?
It's the
I
got one more for you guys.
It's a great question.
You got, of course, I try to think of good stuff for you guys. You know, I want to keep on your level.
Appreciate it.
Exactly 3 weeks and 4 days from today. Okay?
Okay.
That's Sunday, September 10th.
Mhm.
If this happens, I predict tickets will be the highest ever for a New York City sporting event. What am I talking about?
Wait, there'll be a high-priced ticket?
In September, Sunday, September 10th. So I'm trying to remember. It's opening day.
Oh, right, but there's nothing. Oh,
I'm thinking 10,000 a ticket for great seats.
10,000 a ticket for an event that's already scheduled?
Well, it can happen. It may not happen, but it can happen.
A playoff game, a messy play.
The two participants have to be in this. Otherwise, it won't be there.
Oh, so you're talking about the U.S. Open?
That's that's it. Djokovic versus Alcaraz. If that happens, I predict the highest price ever for any sporting event.
No.
What would beat it, Peter?
You think that a seat to Djokovic, Alcaraz, which, by the way, the cheat code is the U.S. Open is very expensive to start out with, obviously. So I hear you there.
Right.
But you think that would outprice floor seats to the Knicks Heat series from just last year?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The tennis people will pay $10,000 a ticket.
He's not wrong.
Johnny Carson used to come from California to watch the finals. I don't know anybody coming from California to watch a Knicks playoff game.
No, but there are rich people in New York also who pay exceedingly high amounts to see the Knicks play in a playoff game.
But there is a certain demographic that loves the U.S. Open, and
that
you
is
get
rich.
that kind of a matchup. So this is the best call you've ever had, Richard. So do you want to bow out, or do you want to take a chance on ruining it?
Last one, football related, and Aaron Wright. We're all talking about Aaron, but there's no way that he can duplicate what Bill Parcells did in '97. Now, just think of it. They went not only from 1 win to 9 wins. He did it without a starting quarterback. He had 3 starting quarterbacks. First, he went with O'Donnell. Then he went with Foley. And then I think he went with Ray Lucas. He didn't even have a starting quarterback. And it wasn't because of injury.
And then,
he just didn't think any of them were good enough.
And then he had a running back throw an interception against Detroit that cost him a playoff game.
Yeah, the interception that cost us the playoff.
Right. You know what, Richard?
He didn't trust his quarterback.
Take a bow.
He won 9 games. You can't make that up. You think Rodgers is going to improve us by 8 games? I don't think so, but it'll be nice.
No,
okay, fellas, always a pleasure. Thanks.
No, you would then have to win 15 games, go 15-2, because they won 7 games.
So it's basically impossible.
I mean, 15-2, that's getting you a bye.
No. Hold on, though. Don, play along with me. What if he gets them to 13-4 and they win a couple playoff games? Does that count?
Yes, because here's why. What Parcells, I don't want to take anything away from Parcells, but you went from Kotite to Parcells. That's got to be worth a few wins right there, right? I mean, that was a 1-15 team, but I think any other coach would have probably squeezed 3-4 wins out of them.
It's sort of like Richard was fantastic today.
Very good.
But let me just say this. He had some cheat codes in there. Like, Federer and Alcaraz would be probably the highest price ticket because of it being an expensive.
Djokovic.
What did I say?
You said Federer.
Sorry. Djokovic and Alcaraz would probably be the highest price ticket because it's tennis, which is already expensive, cool, and inflation. But not because it's even the biggest tennis. I mean, there have been way bigger tennis matches that have taken place. Now, as good as those guys are, Djokovic and Alcaraz, that's going to be a higher price ticket than a Sampras Agassi match when they were in their prime and played in the U.S. Open? Or Serena a few years ago?
I just like the vibe of his call.
No. He brought interesting. No. I'm just saying he's very smart at picking things that are often
the
right.
Elvis Ruth debate. Now, obviously, on a sports talk show, everybody's going to say Ruth. But generally speaking, culturally, now, Elvis is obviously a lot closer to current. He died in 77. Ruth died in 48. So that certainly helps Elvis's argument. But do you think...
No, it's probably Elvis.
It's something. I did see that this morning. So I started taking the deep dive, looking at the comeback concert. It was pretty cool to see some of the old Elvis stuff.
I enjoy a lot of the late Elvis stuff. Those concerts. I mean... But does that mean, if you look at it like that, and you said you said Elvis is bigger than Ruth, is Michael Jackson the most famous pop culture figure of all time in American history?
Well, obviously he has the advantage because more recent.
He's more recent, and he's what Michael has over Elvis is the same conversation we had last week about the complicated relationship between Elvis and the black community. Michael's completely across all racial. There is literally no race even associated with Michael Jackson.
Elvis had more hits, though. I don't know if that counts for anything. And he had the whole movie career.
I don't know. He has the movie career. I'd argue with you about hits. Think about how many different versions of Michael Jackson we're talking about. I don't just mean physically.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I'm going back to
I'm legitimately asking the number of hits. I'm sure it's probably close.
I would assume it's Michael. If you go all the way back to the Jackson 5, you're including ABC and Rockin' Robin, going all the way back from that through Off the Wall.
It's interesting.
And now, but Elvis and Ruth is a fantastic. How about this? I mean, has Jordan surpassed Ruth? Probably, right?
It just because of the time. I mean,
and then does Ali beat both of them?
Yes.
Is Ali
just because he was more than just a boxer? Jordan was a basketball player that obviously used his basketball influence for what? Commercials and
to get
rich. Space Jam. What Ali did and how he affected people.
Is Ali the biggest athlete in American history?
Yes. Because I don't think there was anywhere on the planet he wouldn't be recognized.
Not like Michael would say about George Steinbrenner. Let's go. Let's go.
It is a fact.
Let's go to Christina, who has a wife swap woodship.
Whoa. Let's hear it.
All right, Christina.
Yes, hi. I was just wondering, like, if you were to do a wife swap between the three of you, would you rather do a wife swap with either of the co-hosts' wives? Which one would they be?
Oh, my God.
I can't imagine not getting in trouble answering
Christina, that is a...
I admire it. If you
you're
took
a chance. Filthy animal, Christina, with all due respect.
You have... You're a little dirty. You're a little... I'm going to be honest. I hope you're not insulted by that, but you're a little dirty.
Christina.
There could be some positives that come from it.
All right. I hear you. Sure,
all right, so Nancy's in the car
You
listening.
can make some positive changes, because in the wife swap, sometimes there's some positive changes.
Oh, my God. Well, Christina, I'm going to have to move on here.
We're gonna, just because of my own sake, in case Nancy's listening, we're gonna move on.
Yeah. You can't answer this.
She's a little dirty. She's a dirty girl. Dirty little girl.
All right, let's move on. Can we move on now? All right, Christina.
I wish we were going to break because I feel bad for the next caller.
Oh, darn. We'll go to...
Just go. You want to go to just Bob, just to go completely in the opposite direction?
Yeah, there's no point in
Just
going to a
cleanse the
serious
palate,
question.
if you will.
Yeah. All right, Bob in Melville. Go ahead.
What's up, Bob?
Hi, Don. Hi, Peter. First, I want to thank Don for trying to raise the flag of metal every once in a while.
Oh, I love it.
Peter, I wanted to ask you a question. You're a big WWE guy. What do you think of AEW? Because I'll be honest, I'm 70 years old. I'm kind of bored with WWE.
Oh, wow. That's tough. You're bored with WWE? Well, I think it's been such a good couple years for WWE. But
my opinion, the whole thing with Roman Reigns and the
Roman is bored. The bloodline storyline's not for you, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I enjoy AEW. I think the wrestling business is better when there are other options. I think it creates more jobs for talented people. B, competition makes WWE better, and they have to try harder no matter how much you may say, and it's true. I mean, AEW is not actually competition to WWE business-wise. The fact that there is another alternative makes people, I think, work harder and do a better job. Plus, there's some amazing talents like their champion, MJF, and many others. So, Are you an MJF fan, Bob?
I think his character is irritating. There's other guys I really like.
Who's your favorite?
Orange Cassidy, because I just like the whole laid back, I really don't care attitude.
No, Orange Cassidy is a total original. I have to give you that. Now, did you at least enjoy our conversation with Charlotte Flair?
Oh yes, I was off and on as a fan of her father. But I really like her. I really appreciate her.
Well, Bob, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, I mean, listen, I obviously work for WWE, and I love what we do and think the product's tremendous. But I love competition. I'm never going to be that guy, Don, who hates on something because it's down the street. If the product's good and there are good people and there are things worth watching, I support it. I support the business in general. I got a lot of people I love over there. Let's go to Arsenio in the car. What's up, Arsenio?
What's up, guys? How are you today?
How you doing?
Good. So, with the Dalvin Cook stuff, man, I'm so excited for the season. It seems like, we really didn't need Dalvin Cook, but the one thing that this did for us, it got us over that same old Jets kind of thing, and it also got us away from being used like we've been in the past. Because that was my fear this whole time, that he was just using us. Even up to this weekend, I was talking to my father, telling him, like our running backs look fine. Like, he's just using us to get leverage and get paid more in Miami or wherever he was going to go. But him signing with us really is just showing you that things are really changing in the organization. And, I'm excited for it. But the one thing that's alarming was I wasn't aware of those things that you guys brought up when he signed, the allegations that you had against him. And I'm surprised it hasn't kind of been brought up more often, because I haven't heard it not once, besides you guys bringing it up that day.
Yeah, it definitely isn't getting a lot of attention because it's an allegation. I don't think it's been really as publicized, but it's there, and people choose not to pay attention to it. He's eligible to play.
And it's not the only thing there. I mean, if you keep going in there, there's some stuff there. Like for me, I mean, there's stuff with dogs that's not good. There's a few things. There's college days that are pretty bad.
No, it's
now, listen, everybody deserves a chance to change. Everyone deserves a chance to grow. I certainly wouldn't hold him to standards that I wouldn't want to be held to myself. But yeah, I don't think it should not be mentioned at all. I really don't think that. I think that should be in the conversation, particularly because, Don, I don't know how necessary this move was. It's a nice piece. Is it what they needed? Is it the difference between them and a championship? I don't know about that.
The fact that Hall is not coming off a major injury is the reason why you do it. But I don't think it filled the need. If you told me they spent a ton of money on a big-time left tackle,
we'd be having a conversation.
That means more. And I don't know what exactly this means. Claimed sales. Elvis in the United States sold 500 million albums. Michael Jackson, 400 million.
That's claimed sales?
Yeah, but if you go to Elvis's palette, he was coming out with albums every year.
Oh, the amount of actual albums, too, that came out. Well, you know what, Don? I want to talk to you about something, and that's the baseball season, because it's...
The Michael Kay Show.
Friends have been telling friends about Colonial Penn Guaranteed Acceptance Whole Life Insurance for more than 50 years. And with good reason. If you're between the age of 50 and 85, it's a sure thing. Your acceptance is guaranteed because full benefits are not paid in the first 2 years. And the price? Options start at $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents a day. With Colonial Penn, your rate is another sure thing. It will never increase. And you should know this coverage can last a lifetime.
Visit colonialpenn.com for free information and a free gift.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive. But here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi. We're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Trick plays, and if ever local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the comeback and continue to go forward with hope as the plan on the end.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something. Let's play the game. Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
Rowing is boring and hard, but it's a great full-body workout that utilizes 86% of muscles. That's what inspired me to combine my love of games, community, and competition to create Aviron, a connected fitness experience that is truly unique and even addictive. Aviron is the rower for non-rowers. It uses game psychology and design to drive motivation and results. My mission is to change the way you think and feel about rowing.
celebrate a special moment or give the perfect gift.
Ooh, thanks.
Or make the perfect statement. Or when you just want to express yourself. You want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com. When you want to celebrate a special moment or give the perfect gift.
Ooh, thanks.
Or make the perfect statement. Or when you just want to express yourself. You want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com.
Meet Away's iconic suitcases, redesigned. Mix, match, and look good everywhere. More color, more luggage, more travel. Away. Shop at awaytravel.com.
Yours, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, because where you're treated first matters. Call 833-737-0404 or visit msk.org/together.
Ronald Acuna Jr., binging all his favorite rom-com movies. How did we get here?
You're all set. Refrigerator's fixed.
That's it?
That's it. All done.
Cool. Ronald Acuna Jr. downloaded the new Front Door app to get real-time help from a video expert for his home repair and maintenance needs.
Woo! Let's go!
So all that's left to do is be done. Introducing Front Door, an all-new home repair and maintenance app. Download today.
If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, choose the right law firm by asking, what are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Whites and Luxembourg at 800-LAW-6789 to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit mesowin.com.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Oh, there's Sean O'Malley on SportsCenter. Big fight this weekend. In UFC, as big as yet. I know you're waiting with bated breath.
See, that's why you're the well-rounded sports guy.
He's it's Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling this weekend. By the way, shout out to my boy Khalil Roundtree, who had a big win this past weekend for UFC, his 4th straight. He's a New York guy. Stoked for him. And let's get to the busy phones. Try to get through all of these. Let's start with Tom in Manhattan. We have 7 minutes. Let's get through every call. Tom, what do you got?
Hey, guys. How's it going? First-time caller. How's it going tonight?
What's up?
Thanks, man.
Good.
Just wanted to ask about Daniel Jones and the Giants. So I know there's a lot of optimism. I'm very optimistic about Daniel Jones and the Giants this year. But there is, unfortunately, still the caution of thinking that he's going to be absolutely terrible. I mean, we know that, he could definitely drop off this year. Just want to see what you guys think about. Say he is terrible. What do you think the Giants' next move would be next year? Do you think they give him another year or two to figure it out? Or do you think, a lot of changes have to be made up front?
Well, they've got an out after 2 years. So I think that you would start planning the exit strategy pretty much right away, even though it's a 4-year contract. But I don't think there's any indication. Maybe this is just me being overly optimistic, but you heard Jordan say that he's only thrown 2 interceptions the entire camp. I don't think he's going to fall on his face. He may not live up to the contract, but wouldn't you be surprised if he's just a complete disaster this year? Not living up to expectations is one thing, but do you think he's going to be benched and Tyrod Taylor's going to be the quarterback?
Yeah, like they got it completely wrong. Last year was an anomaly. He takes a step backwards. He's fumbling. No, I don't see that. To me, the only question with Daniel Jones is, does he take the step to like a real quarterback?
But could they be trying to get out of this in 2 years? Yeah.
Yeah, that's still on the table. Sure. I mean, could he have a sort of a handful of Kirk Cousins years where like every year the team's not sure and that's on the table. I think let's just be honest, guys. Everyone went into the offseason being like, how much are we paying this guy? But I didn't talk to many people who said, please throw anything you have at him.
But once they kick off on opening day, does anybody gonna care how much money he's making? They just want to see him play.
No, as long as he's playing well. Let's go to Santino in Mahopac. Hey, Santino.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. I was just curious. I'm going to make it quick so you guys can get to other callers, but I was just curious if you guys think that the Jets have a good shot at taking the division and if you think Davante Adams will end up in a Jet uniform this year.
I mean, I don't think that's possible.
I don't think. I guess you never rule anything out because I do think they'll obviously have room to make a deal.
But does Vegas have an appetite to move on from Davante Adams?
No, they might.
I mean, if they just give up altogether,
if they're just the Vegas has them like as a 3-win team. Like they're going to be in competition to get the first overall pick. Caleb Williams is going to come out of USC and be probably as highly touted as Trevor Lawrence. So is it possible? I guess nothing's out of the realm of possibility. You've got picks. You've got cap space. Barr was talking about how the Jets may be very active at the deadline. If you got these extra running backs, if you've got young players that you think you can move because you're a depth team, it's not crazy.
Yeah.
Would I bet on it? No, but it's not crazy.
I mean, I'll tell you this though.
I don't know what his deal is, movement wise or whatever.
Listen, the truth is though, as exciting as it is to imagine Davante Adams reuniting with Aaron Rodgers, to be honest, that's not really where they need the help. They actually have a pretty loaded receiver situation.
They need the offensive line.
The Zach Martin situation would have been what was ideal. Not as sexy, but way more important. Not shocking news, Vlatko Andonovski, the manager of the U.S. women's national team, is out.
Okay.
He has stepped down.
That was a disappointing ending to their cup run.
Yeah, you think it's
made a lot of people in this country very happy.
Yeah,
which was
it's kind of odd, right?
I never saw more self-loathing of a country than I did
when it came to the women's national team. It's interesting.
Yeah, very polarizing, Peter.
It was so polarizing. Let's go to Brian in the Rockaways. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Fellas, quick Would You Wednesday. Before I give you the Would You Wednesday, when I'm done, I'm going to need Christina's number. That's the kind of filth I need in my life.
That's
we hear you. Go ahead.
Dirty girl.
Go ahead.
Would you guys, in their prime, rather get punched in the face by Mike Tyson or full-speed LT coming at you with no pads and he's tackling you?
Probably the LT, because I'd end up in traction. I think Tyson would kill you. With a punch to the face,
like it's clean to the face, no glove. Yeah, you'd survive the LT hit. Don's right; he nailed it.
I mean, I might be, like I said, I might be in traction. I might not be in good shape. But if I survive, I'm probably eating through a straw for like 6 months, or not the rest of my life.
Lavelle, quick point on Cashman. Go.
Yo, quick, you made the comparison of Tom Hagen from The Godfather, but Tom was removed because he wasn't kicked out the family. He was just moved to a different position.
You're out, Tom.
So so I wonder if he could just be moved to another position. And real quick, Pete, I got to tell you, this is the greatest thing today. What you said I felt like Andre 3000 when he said the South got something to say. When you finally called out the excuses, it made my heart I just wanted to shed a tear, bro. I love that moment.
Lavelle, thank you. That's why. Listen, that's why I did it. It's not because I care so deeply about it, but I knew people cared.
It was good.
Nick and Sable, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Really like your show.
Thanks, man.
I was interested about the comparison between Elvis and Michael Jackson, and I was wondering if you guys knew that. I went to Graceland this past April. If you knew that 600,000 people go to Graceland every year.
I've been myself. It's a joy.
That's pretty cool. So how do you quantify that as far as all time in history?
I mean, I guess we could go through, Nick, if you wanted to. Maybe we could do this tomorrow because can I be honest with you?
I'm not going to talk Yankees for 4 hours.
Yeah, I can't do Yankees for 4 hours tomorrow. Don and I don't have Michael to fight with, so I would. You know what I'm going to do? We should pull that out in one segment. Just compare Michael and Elvis. Go through the hits and see who has the most Billboard hits. I think internationally, it's a cakewalk for Michael. I think the real conversation's domestically. I think who's bigger.
Well, you remember watching the movie? Like they wouldn't let him tour. He didn't leave the country.
Right. So
Elvis.
So it's going to be interesting to see the amount of hits. They both did it for a very long time. Elvis big from the late 50s, mid 50s until the late 70s, like 80, right?
Well,
he
yeah,
died in 79.
Yeah, posthumously, yeah.
So, and then for
77 he died, but there were hits that went on beyond that.
So, and for Michael, it's the late 60s to the mid 2000s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next here on Yes, Homegrown, the path to pinstripes. And don't forget, after the final out on Prime Video down in Atlanta, kick it back to Yes for full post-game coverage of tonight's game between the Yankees and the Braves. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Beautiful ladies, loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride is the best